Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Sign into the Hyperion at the start, the goddess seeks to team up. Chapter 41. For a strong person who has the potential to enter the inner sea, Hades will never hate such a person. When the person in charge of the Jin Chamber of Commerce heard this sentence, he was also shocked. No wonder that customer was able to get so many ships in the Storm Galaxy without being targeted. It turned out that he was actually covered by the Inner Sea King Crazy Shark pirates. Who is this man Holy? After obtaining the permission of the Crazy Shark pirates, they also drove a large cargo ship and began to land on the Black Rock Star. With a dull sound, the large cargo ship also landed on Black Rock Star. The huge body fell on the ground, splashing a puff of smoke. The person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce also walked off the cargo ship, and Su Yan also walked over when he saw it. Unexpectedly, the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce saw Su Yan coming, and he also trotted all the way over. Oh, this lord, slow down. The person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce also came over with a flattering expression. Seeing the expression of the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce, Su Yan was also at a loss. But now, Su Yan is most concerned about how much these ships can sell for. There are 30 E-class ships and 5 C-class ships here. Count these ships, because some of the ships are seriously damaged, you can just look at them. During this time, Su Yan looted several small pirate fleets in addition to the Wonquan pirate fleet. In battle, however, damage is inevitable. The powerful firepower of the Valkyrie heavy fireship is a complete disaster for those ships with weak armor. Otherwise, there would definitely be more ships here now. Looking at the ships in front of them, some ships still have obvious battle marks. But the person in charge of the Jin Chamber of Commerce took a look at these ships, and there was actually the flagship of the Wonquan pirate fleet in Wonquan. The value of this ship is among all A-class ships, and it can be regarded as middle and upper class. After some estimates, the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce spoke up. My lord, I calculated that the value of these ships is about 5 billion star coins. Because some of these ships are seriously damaged, we need to spend a lot of stars just to repair them. The person in charge of the Jin Chamber of Commerce glanced at Su Yan, for fear that he would not be satisfied with the price he gave. And Su Yan touched his chin, secretly thinking, sure enough, robbing these interstellar pirates is the fastest way to get money. So be it. Su Yan also nodded, and the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce was also relieved. Finally, the deal was negotiated. In this case, he neither offended the Crazy Shark pirates, but also completed the task explained above. Thinking of this, the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce also breathed a sigh of relief. But at this moment, Su Yan suddenly said, "You guys still sell information here, right?" "That's right, our Gimhai Chamber of Commerce has all kinds of goods, only what you want is not something we don't sell." The person in charge of the Jin Chamber of Commerce also quickly asked, "Master, what kind of information do you want?" "I need news about the Intrepid Victory." After hearing what Su Yan needed, the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce also whispered to Su Yan. "Master, this trip is too deep, you better not go this trip. Recent news about the Fearless Victory has already raised 10 million star coins. Many inner sea forces have also set their sights on the Fearless Victory this time, sir, be careful." After Su Yan heard these words, she also touched her chin. It seems that the legendary S-class ships are indeed going to appear in the open sea. Otherwise, this news would not have been so expensive. After thinking for a moment, Su Yan also said, "It's okay, you sell me the news about the Dreadnought Victory first." Seeing that Su Yan continued to insist, the person in charge of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce also obtained documents from the Chamber of Commerce. Su Yan gets news about the Intrepid Victory. He wanted to know what kind of powerful ship it was that could shake the forces of the inner sea. When he read the information on the Dreadnought Victory, he immediately understood. It turned out that the forces for the Dreadnought Victory were not just for the Dreadnought Victory. The Dreadnought Victory is an S-class firepower ship, and its firepower is even comparable to some SS-class ships. The captain of the Fearless Victory once obtained a lot of treasure in an ancient ruin, but he encountered a warp storm during the return process and was lost in the warp ever since. 500 years have passed since the Dreadnought Victory disappeared. Someone once found traces of the existence of an ancient empire in the ruins of the Dreadnought Victory, but the treasure in it has been brought into the warp by the Dreadnought Victory. Some warp space scholars speculate that a massive warp space storm will occur in the Silver Light Galaxy in the near future. The fearless Victory entered the warp space from then on. Perhaps this time it can use the warp space storm to return to the Sea of Stars again. After reading the news, Su Yan couldn't help frowning slightly. This is just too ridiculous. Simply because the Intrepid Victory suffered a warp storm in the Silverlight Galaxy hundreds of years ago. Can they be sure that the Dreadnought Victory will reappear in the Silverlight Galaxy hundreds of years later? However, those forces are now holding a mentality of, would rather believe what they have than what they don't. What if the Intrepid Victory showed up? The treasure above, isn't it cheaper for others? You know, that is a treasure related to the ancient empire. Today, there are still several ancient empires that have not yet become extinct in the Sea of Stars, but they have all chosen to seal the kingdom. Ordinary people simply cannot enter the territory of their empires, but the strength of these ancient empires is beyond doubt. Every ancient empire has the super strength that can destroy a galaxy with the lift of a hand. The value of the treasures of the ancient empire can be imagined. Su Yan put away the information, just as he was going to pass through the Silver Light Galaxy and head to the Gold Galaxy. At that time, it is not impossible to join in the fun. If at that time, if you can get some benefits from those big bosses, you will be sure to make a profit. Just when Su Yan was still imagining, the mechanical priest came over. Your honorable captain, the recycled steel technology you asked me to study has been completed. As soon as these words came out, Su Yan was also delighted. Has the interstellar black technology recycled steel finally been developed by yourself? Sure enough, none of these mechanical priests had a dry meal. It's time for a full upgrade of the Hyperion. Very good. How much does it cost to apply recycled steel to our fleet? Su Yan is also rich now. After all, he just negotiated a $5 billion deal. Now, he should be regarded as a little rich. Thinking of this, Su Yan also touched his nose, thinking to himself, money is really easy to earn. And the mechanical priest did not know when he took out a computer. After some calculations, the mechanical priest spoke. My dear captain, according to our calculations, if the entire fleet is loaded with recycled steel technology, it will cost 15 billion star coins. But you don't need to worry. After our careful calculation, in fact, only 10.5 billion star coins are enough to arm the fleet. 15 billion star coins. Su Yan was stunned. 15 billion star coins. Then what about just arming the Hyperion? In that case, you only need 5 billion star coins. Of course, we can also save you money, and 4.5 billion star coins can almost complete the weapon. Sure enough, fleet upgrades are often accompanied by huge costs. Su Yan couldn't help but feel a headache, and pinch the center of his eyebrows. I had considered that the upgrade of ships would require huge funds, but I didn't expect the funds to be so huge. However, after thinking about it, if the recycled steel is loaded, there will be no need for maintenance work after fighting by himself in the future. That's a small expense left. After thinking about it, Su Yan also sighed. It seems that I have to go to the Golden Galaxy. The 5 billion star coins that I have just obtained is not even half of the cost of a fleet transformation. Now those interstellar pirates in the Storm Galaxy will immediately start the space transition when they see their ships. The way he wanted to make money by robbing interstellar pirates was completely cut off. Now, there are only two paths. Or go to the Golden Galaxy according to the original plan and rely on some unknown astrolabes to obtain a lot of money. But this kind of risk is not small, maybe it will come back empty-handed. And the second way, Su Yan took out the Shanghai compass that Halley's had given him before, and the coordinates in it were the coordinates of the upcoming appearance of the Dreadnought Victory. Looking at the coordinates in the Shanghai compass, after Su Yan thought for a moment, he also held back the restlessness in his heart. It is still unknown how many powerhouses are eyeing the Dreadnought Victory. But only with the addition of the Heavenly King level force of the Crazy Shark Pirates, there will be no small number of strong people who will appear at that time. Su Yan is also a little curious. In the end there will be those powerhouse forces. But the most urgent task is to go to the Golden Galaxy first. Sure enough, Spending money is like running water, and the emergence of recycled steel has made my wallet that is not rich even worse. But Su Yan thinks it's all worth it. If you let your fleet be equipped with recycled steel, the combat effectiveness of its ships will definitely increase significantly. Thinking of this, Su Yan also returned to the bridge, preparing to make a space jump to the Silver Light Galaxy. Now the Yingguang Galaxy must have a lot of strong forces entrenched, and I can just go and investigate. The target galaxy is being set. Silver Light Galaxy, exploding star. Prepare for space jump. Whoosh. An hour later, Su Yan's fleet also instantly appeared in the Silver Light Galaxy. The Silver Light Galaxy is a galaxy with a newborn star and 4 planets. But the most peculiar thing about the Silver Light Galaxy is that the 4 planets are all planets with extremely harsh environments. One is full of poisonous gas and beasts, the other is full of radiation and mutant plants, and the other planet is completely a desert planet, with a temperature difference of 1000 degrees Celsius between day and night. As for the last planet, it is the detonating star in front of you. Compared with other planets, deflagration stars are relatively safe planets. The surface of the planet is covered with a large number of volcanoes, which erupt from time to time due to various factors. However, compared to several other planets, its safety factor is relatively low. At this moment, Su Yan saw from the back of the planet, a fleet was moving slowly. Su Yan frowned slightly when he saw the sign of the opposite ship. On the opposite ship, an image of an orc with oversized fangs was imprinted on the ship. The fleet of green orcs, as expected, wherever there is war, there are these green orcs. Greenskin orcs, an extremely warlike race. Where there is war, there are these green-skinned orcs. The technology of these green orcs is not high, but they are better than the population base of green orcs. The huge population base is enough for them to build a fleet in a short period of time. So, if you go up against the greenskin orcs, you annihilated the opposing fleet, but you were injured, and that is the victory of the green orcs. A greenskin orc fleet usually consists of hundreds of ships. Seeing this, Su Yan immediately turned the boat around. I don't want to confront these lunatics like green-skinned orcs, there is no benefit in fighting them. Their ships are all extremely low level, and they will be scrapped after a few dozen. After being scrapped, it is a mass of scrap iron. It took a long time to get a pile of scrap iron. What do you want? The space transition engine still has some time to cool down, and Su Yan is also constantly wandering in the Silver Light Galaxy. Now, he doesn't dare to land casually, if he encounters an accident when landing. In addition to his own Hyperion, which can escape from space, other ships under his command will suffer. At this time, Su Yan frowned slightly, because he saw another fleet, a metal fleet full of technology. Taking a look at the painting of the fleet, it is actually a Tau ship. The Tau are another huge race from the inner sea. However, compared to the green-skinned orcs just now, the Tau are not so hostile to other races. Even, the Tau often reach alliance agreements with some races. Even so, Su Yan didn't want to deal with them. These guys are very religious, and once they hook you up, they'll keep feeding you their beliefs. Although I won't force you, but if it is you, someone keeps chanting sutras beside me, and if it is you, you are also annoying. Su Yan changed direction again and couldn't help sighing in her heart. The current Silver Light Galaxy is really crowded with powerhouses from all walks of life, so don't stay here too much. Ding! The space transition engine has cooled down, and the space transition can be performed at any time. The goal of space transition is being set. Golden Galaxy, Financial Star. Prepare for space jump. Gold Galaxy, Silver Star Port. As a satellite of the Financial Star, the Silver Star was also directly transformed into the largest star port in the Gold Galaxy. The size of this starport is about 10 times that of the Moon Starport. There are as many as 100 million ships entering and leaving this starport every day. Such a huge flow is also enough to explain the prosperity of the Golden Galaxy. At this moment, Su Yan's fleet was also near the Silver Starport, and the communication channel of the Silver Starport was also automatically connected to the Hyperion's channel. Hello, this is Silver Starport, your ship has entered the starport range. Excuse me, do you need to park the ship? Before Su Yan could answer, Lin Qingyu, who was beside her, suddenly spoke up. No need, we have private berth, VIP 666 berth. Receive. Hello distinguished VIP users, your private berth has been cleaned, thank you for your support to Buyingsingang. Next, please go to berth number 666 according to the positioning prompt. Subsequently, a positioning display also appeared on the ship's positioning system. Su Yan glanced at Lin Qingyu. You actually have a private berth at Byingsing port. Hearing this sentence, Lin Qingyu also spread her hands innocently. The Golden Galaxy is the most prosperous place in the outer seas. Our Lin family has 3 private berths here. Don't worry, no one will come to these berths at ordinary times. Even if my eldest brother and second brother come together, it will be enough. Seeing Lin Qingyu's innocent face, Su Yan couldn't help but sigh in her heart, she was really inhuman. You know, a private berth can accommodate at least 100 ships. Private berths are generally only available for auction at auctions, which also makes a private berth in Byingsing sky high. But Lin Qingyu, this little rich woman, actually has 3. Soon, they parked all ships in Dock 666. Immediately after they got off the ship, an alien race service staff came over. Dear VIP user, does your fleet need maintenance? As a VIP user of our Star Harbor, you can enjoy the privilege of free maintenance once a year. And such a good thing. Su Yan also pointed to the ship behind him. I need it, please. And the alien race service staff also said very politely, it is our honor to serve the distinguished VIP users. After all, several service personnel also began to maintain the ship. After Lin Qingyu next to him came to the Golden Galaxy, it was as if he had returned to his own home. After all, apart from the solar system, what she knows best is this Golden Galaxy. In the Golden Galaxy, as long as you have money, everyone will treat you differently. Of course, on the other hand, if you are too poor, you may be discriminated against. The Golden Galaxy is such a place, and money is strength. Lin Qingyu also said lightly, to be honest, she didn't like this place. She felt that this place was too impersonal. If you have money, they will do your best to you. If you don't have money, they will treat you coldly. Everyone is like this. Lin Qingyu thinks they are fake. However, Lin Qingyu looked at Su Yan. Among all the people she had met, only Su Yan was the most true to her. This guy doesn't give himself up because of who he is. Although he often bullied herself, among all the people she knew, except for his family, he was the most sincere one. Su Yan was sitting on the high-speed star track from Byingsing to Financial Star, but he was thinking about where to buy recycled steel materials for a while. Su Yan, how about you accompany me to the financial mall in a while? Lin Qingyu blinked her big watery eyes and looked at Su Yan eagerly. You must know that the financial mall is the largest mall in the outer seas, and no girl can resist the temptation to visit the mall. However, Su Yan just touched her head. No, I have to go to the material market in a while to buy some materials to upgrade the Hyperion. Hearing this answer, Lin Qingyu was a little disappointed, but she did not continue to pester Su Yan. And Su Yan also glanced at this little rich woman. Boom! Suddenly, Su Yan knocked Lin Qingyu's little head. After purchasing the materials, I'll go meet you. Before that, let Bai Ying come with you. Lin Qingyu glanced at Bai Ying next to Su Yan, and suddenly showed a surprised expression. When did Bai Ying follow? I didn't find it myself. And Su Yan saw Lin Qingyu's surprised expression, and the corners of her mouth rose slightly. Bai Ying has always been by my side, but she doesn't speak, so you just ignore her, right? Hearing this sentence, Bai Ying's face also showed a strange look. And Lin Qingyu waved her hand quickly. No. I actually found out long ago. As soon as these words came out, the corner of Bai Ying's mouth rose slightly imperceptibly. But it was only slightly, and it rose for a moment. Soon, the star trails also brought them to the financial star. Su Yan took the star trail to continue to the material market, while Lin Qingyu and Bai Ying went to the financial mall. With Bai Ying next to Lin Qingyu, Su Yan felt more at ease. So, Su Yan also went straight to the material market. After some conversation, Su Yan also purchased a lot of materials. These materials are all used to make recycled steel. When the time comes, they will be handed over to the mechanical priests. They should know how to use these things. After earning a lap, his purse that had been bulging instantly shriveled. It's really easy to spend money and it's hard to make money. Passing by a ship parts store, Su Yan was also instantly attracted by the ship materials inside. A-class ship superluminal engine, price, 150 million star coins. B-class ship superalloy armor, price, 100 million star coins. B-class ship nuclear energy reactor, price, 90 million star coins. Looking at the list prices of those ship parts, Su Yan also touched his chin, then glanced at his wallet. Good guy, it turns out that ship parts can also sell for such a high price. In this case, if I rob those interstellar pirates in the future, I might as well dismantle their most valuable parts and sell them. Just when Su Yan was still thinking about his big business of making money, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Su Yan, didn't expect to meet you here. Su Yan turned around and saw Yan Qinghan and Huang Yang standing behind him. Next to the two of them, there was a guy dressed in gold and silver. Su Yan also recognized that this guy was the second generation of the famous star at their school. Rowan, his father was also a planet lord. But his father has more than one planetary territory. Among all the planet lords in the outer seas, Rowan's father can be regarded as a middle-class existence. And Rowan glanced at Su Yan, and he also saw Su Yan's actions just now. Su Yan glanced at the ship parts and then at his wallet. Obviously want to buy ship parts, but because of wallet reasons, cannot afford to buy. Thinking of this, Rowan also pretended to be relaxed. Meeting as fate, Su Yan, I invited everyone from Shanghai University in the Golden Galaxy to reserve a private room in the restaurant of the financial mall. How's it going? Don't you want to catch up with your old classmate, Su Yan? Classmate reunion. Su Yan touched his chin, he was about to refuse. But he suddenly thought of one thing, and then looked up at Rowan. Is Ling Bing here? Ling Bing, the thorn flower of Shanghai University. Together with Yan Qinghan, they are also known as the twin school flowers of Shanghai University. But a large part of Yan Qinghan's school beau name is because she is the daughter of a planet lord. But Ling Bing is different. The reason why she is called the flower of thorns is because she majors in warfare. She is a war lunatic, and all the mentors who have taught her say so about her. If she had been born thousands of years ago, she would have become the most feared Valkyrie on the battlefield. It's a pity that she lives in this era, and there is no ship that can carry her in this era. And this time, Su Yan's target is Ling Bing. She needs a combat commander. This guy is clearly the best choice. And when Luo Wen heard Su Yan asking about Ling Bing's news, there was a hint of ruthlessness in his eyes, but this emotion just flashed by. In a blink of an eye, he returned to an amiable expression. Of course, I heard that Ling Bing joined the Sun Alliance, but she has resigned now, which is a pity. Originally, I just became a one-star member of the Sun Alliance, and I was going to transfer her to my fleet. Having said that, Rowan also showed off his identity by the way. But this time, Su Yan also showed a smile. Does Ling Bing have no fleet yet? Very good, if she can be persuaded to board her own ship, after the size of her own fleet grows gradually, she will be capable enough to serve as the first mate. Thinking of this, Su Yan also smiled. Since that's the case, it's better for me to be respectful than to obey. Rowan looked at Su Yan in front of him and sneered in his heart. When you get there, I'll see if you can laugh. When Yan Qinghan next to him saw that Luo Wen invited Su Yan, he couldn't help but frown. In her impression, this Rowan is a guy who will do anything to achieve his goals. Now a one-star member of the Sun Alliance, he's also said before that Su Yan doesn't deserve an S-class ship at all. Now that Su Yan is invited with such fanfare, it is estimated that it will be a feast for Su Yan at that time. Taking the Star train, they soon came to the largest mall of Financial Star, the Financial Mall. As soon as I arrived at the Financial Mall, I saw several old classmates in different costumes approaching. Luo Xiao is here. Thanks to Luo Xiao, it opened our eyes today. Only someone with a lot of money like Luo Xiao can book a private room in a high-end restaurant in a financial mall. I heard that a private room in that restaurant needs at least 100,000 stars to cover it. A few of our classmates are also touched by Luo Xiao's light. A few old classmates naturally flattered unceremoniously. After all, flattering would not lose a piece of meat. And Su Yan didn't speak, glanced at these old classmates, and didn't see Ling Bing's figure. Although this kid Rowan is annoying, he shouldn't be able to deceive people. After a bit of flattery, Rowan was also a little flirtatious. Don't stand still, brothers, come with me. After all, they also took the elevator to the high-end restaurant Dream on the 66th floor. In the entire Financial Star, Dream Restaurant can be regarded as one of the best restaurants. At this time, Su Yan also followed Luo Wen into the restaurant. Walking through a long corridor, they were also led by the waiter to their private room. However, at this time, a private room behind them opened. A familiar figure came out. This person was Jin Shangwen, the head of the Jinei Chamber of Commerce who had traded with Su Yan. Jin Shangwen was about to go to the bathroom, but at this moment, out of the corner of his eyes, he also saw Su Yan's figure. Why is that lord here? At this time, the private room door was also opened again, and it was the owner of the Dream Restaurant who came out of it. When the owner of Dream Restaurant saw Jin Shangwen standing here without saying a word, his heart suddenly froze. Could it be that his restaurant made this adult dissatisfied? Thinking of this, the owner of Dream Restaurant was also sweating coldly behind his back, and the drink in his stomach woke up. You must know that Dream Restaurant belongs to the Financial Mall, and the Financial Mall is a small industry of the Gimhai Chamber of Commerce. Once the person in charge is offended, his restaurant will not be able to wait until tomorrow, and will be closed down in the afternoon. And Jin Shangwen's mind is not on the owner of the Dream Restaurant at this moment. Little Wang, what is the number of the private room for that group? Hearing this sentence, the owner of the Dream Restaurant also glanced at Luo Wen. Master Jin, I will go to work immediately. Go check it out, remember, don't disturb the people in that box. In that box, there is a character that neither you nor I can offend. Su Yan has a close relationship with the Crazy Shark Pirates. If he angered him, he might involve the Crazy Shark Pirates. Thinking of this, Jin Shangwen also secretly said in his heart that he didn't expect to meet this master here. It was also instructed above that you must not offend him. Taking advantage of this opportunity, it would be great if the relationship could be brought closer. And Su Yan didn't know Jin Shangwen's thoughts. After he entered the private room, he searched for Ling Bing's figure in the crowd. At this moment, Su Yan also saw Ling Bing shaking with a wine glass in the corner. She was sitting there, but any man who wanted to get close to her would leave angrily after touching her sharp eyes. Seeing this, Su Yan also walked over. But at this moment, a voice caught everyone's attention. Everyone, thank you very much for being here. After many days, our old classmates gathered here again. This is fate. As the convener of this gathering, Rowan also started his tirade. And Su Yan naturally has no interest at all, his goal is very simple. He came straight to Ling Bing, and when Ling Bing saw Su Yan, the sharpness in his eyes disappeared without a trace. I didn't expect you to come to this boring party too. Ling Bing also has a certain favorable impression of Su Yan. Because, when she was at Shanghai Academy, Su Yan was one of the few people who could do battle with her in the war simulation course. So the relationship between the two is more like an opponent and more like a friend. Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing, and then said very calmly, I heard that you are here, so I chose to attend this class reunion. As soon as these words came out, the red wine glass that was shaking in Ling Bing's hand suddenly stopped. Afterwards, a blush appeared on Ling Bing's face. For me, Ling Bing glanced at Su Yan, and at this moment Su Yan was also looking at Ling Bing very sincerely. That's right, I came here just for you this time. Ling Bing, I want you to be my crew member. My fleet needs people like you. As soon as these words came out, Ling Bing froze in place. Co-author, you came here just to invite yourself to be a crew member. Ling Bing was stunned for a while, then asked, is it gone? Is there anything else I missed? Seeing Su Yan's dazed face, a blush appeared on Ling Bing's face again. She raised the red wine glass in her hand, then raised her head and drank it. After drinking the red wine, Ling Bing also looked at Su Yan, and she returned to her previous indifferent appearance. I heard you have an S-class ship. Do you have anything else besides that? You should also know that I joined the army of the Sun Alliance at the beginning, but then I resigned. If you want me on board, it's not enough to have an S-class ship. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also said calmly, a fleet of S-class ships and 10 B-class firepower ships is enough. 10 B-class fire ships. It has only been a few months since they walked out of Shanghai. Where did Su Yan get so many B-tier ships, and they are still firepower ships? Ling Bing looked at Su Yan suspiciously, but she also knew very well that Su Yan was not the kind of person who would lie and trick people into getting on the boat. Thinking of this, Ling Bing also said, "Since this is the case, I will." "Su Yan, I heard that your ship is an S-class ship." Before Ling Bing could finish speaking, a discordant voice interrupted the conversation between the two. "I saw Rowan walking towards Su Yan in the eyes of everyone." Seeing this, Su Yan narrowed her eyes slightly. "Yes, is there a problem?" "That's it, I want to requisition your S-class ship. I heard that there are signs of recovery of the Zerg recently. Now the Sun Alliance is expanding its armaments, and your S-class ships are just a good combat power. You must have spent a lot of money on S-class ships during this period of time. After all, the maintenance costs of S-class ships are a lot of money. But you don't have to worry, I will compensate you with 1 million star coins and a B-class ship." At this time, Huang Yang also jumped out from behind Rowan. "Su Yan, why don't you thank Brother Rowan soon?" Luo Wen also patted Su Yan on the shoulder and said, "You're welcome, all of this is for the safety of the entire Shanghai. Besides, we are classmates, so there is no need to be so polite." After all, Rowan also looked at Su Yan in front of him. Everyone present looked at Su Yan. What would Su Yan choose? Rowan has moved out the Sun Alliance. If Su Yan offends the Sun Alliance, it is estimated that even Blue Star will not be able to go back. At this time, Su Yan also looked at Luo Wen and said lightly, "You too." When this remark came out, everyone was shocked. Is Su Yan so brave? How dare he scold Rowan directly? Luo Wen didn't expect that Su Yan was so rigid, and his face was a little ugly for a while. "Su Yan, it's all about defending against the Zerg threat. What if I don't give it? That's the trouble with the Sun Alliance." At this time, Rowan also moved up the Sun Alliance. He is a 1-star member of the Sun Alliance, and he is also a member of the Sun Alliance. Ling Bing next to him also glanced at Su Yan. No matter how bad Rowan is, he is still a member of the Sun Alliance. Now, if Su Yan attacks Rowan, he'll really be a wanted man in the Sun Alliance. By that time, he couldn't even go back to Lansheng. Rowan also relied on the Sun Alliance behind him, so he was so tough and wanted to get the S-class ship in Su Yan's hands. At this moment, the door of the private room was kicked open. "I heard it all. Su Yan, you shot this kid. Don't worry, when you are wanted by the Sun Alliance, just join our crazy shark pirates. With me covering you, the Sun Alliance can't help you." It was the head of the crazy shark pirates who kicked open the door, Hades. Su Yan was stunned for a moment. Why did Hades appear here? At this time, an indifferent voice sounded from behind Hades. "Your Excellency Hades, I'm still here, don't you look down on me when you talk like this." A young man in an army green robe walked in. However, when Rowan saw the medal on the young man's chest, his face turned pale. "I saw that the medal on the young man's chest was a medal with a sun as the center and 6 golden stars surrounding the sun. This medal represents the identity of a young man, the 6-star commander of the Sun Alliance." 6-star commander. That is an existence that is several times higher than his own 1-star member. And Hades laughed loudly. "Dao Wujian, this kid is my favorite, don't you want to win love with a sword?" Dao Wujian looked at Su Yan, and then went straight to Su Yan. Then, in full view, Dao Wujian saluted Su Yan. "Your Excellency Su Yan, the Sun Alliance already knows about your fight against the Zerg on Moke Planet. Thank you very much for your contribution to the entire Shanghai. I'm sorry to meet in this situation, please leave the next thing to me to handle." Immediately afterwards, Dao Wujian looked at Rowan. "I remember that your father is the Lord of the Spiral Star. It seems that the interior of the Sun Alliance needs to be cleaned up." After all, Dao Wujian directly pulled the 1-star badge of the Sun Alliance in front of Luo Wen's chest. "From today, you are no longer a member of the Sun Alliance. When I go back, I will interrogate any member who applies to become an Alliance member through you. In the Sun Alliance, there is no need for a moth like you." With a plop, Rowan sat on the ground with his legs limp. How he came to be a member of the Sun Alliance, he could not be more clear. If Dao Wujian really investigates like this, let alone him, even his father's status is not guaranteed. For a time, Rowan was also panicked. He looked at Su Yan, and at this time, he seemed to see a life-saving straw. Su Yan, it was me who was wrong just now. For the sake of us all being classmates, let me go. How imposing Rowan was just now, how embarrassed he is now. If all his affairs are investigated by the Sun Alliance, let alone himself, it is estimated that even his family will have an accident. And Su Yan looked at Rowan in front of him and said lightly, "You know what? I really want to kill you right now." As soon as these words came out, Haley smiled. Dao Wujian looked up at the ceiling as if nothing had happened. Everyone could not help but take a deep breath at this moment. How long has it been since then? Su Yan actually has something to do with the crazy shark pirates and the Sun Alliance. How on earth did he do it all? Luo Wen's face was also extremely pale. He did not expect that there is such a huge amount of energy behind Su Yan today. If he knew that Su Yan had something to do with the crazy shark pirates, he wouldn't even dare to let go of his fart if he lent him 10 courage. But Su Yan just glanced at him, and then said, "It's too cheap to kill you. The Sun Alliance will investigate the details of this guy, right?" Hearing this sentence, Dao Wujian also nodded. "Yes, I will be personally responsible for this matter." "That's good." Having said that, Su Yan didn't go to see Rowan again. And Ling Bing looked at Su Yan in front of him, and his eyes were full of brilliance. Dao Wujian looked at Su Yan in front of him, and he was also secretly relieved. Originally, this time he came to this restaurant to unite the Jin clan and the Shark Pirates, so as to gain an advantage in the next battle for the Dreadnought Victory. Who knows, the Jin clan revealed that Su Yan was also here. Now Su Yan has a very high prestige in the upper echelons of the Sun Alliance. While Su Yan was still at Shanghai University, the Sun Alliance took a fancy to this talented young man. It's just that Su Yan gathered the applications of the Sun Alliance at that time, otherwise Su Yan is now a 3-star elite. But the Sun Alliance did not expect that they would receive news about Su Yan again shortly after. According to the news brought by Lin Beihei, Su Yan not only destroyed the Zerg mother nest, but also had an extremely powerful Shinicist under him. No matter which race Su Yan destroys the Zerg brood, they will appreciate Su Yan. What's more, Su Yan is still a blue-star human. The upper management of the Sun Alliance attaches great importance to Su Yan, and said that if there is a chance, Su Yan can enter the Sun Alliance to serve as a 5-star general. A great potential human being. Dao Wujian glanced at Su Yan. Such a young man not only has a powerful fleet under his command. Moreover, after only a few months of stepping into the Shanghai, he was on the line with the Inner Sea Heavenly King level forces. This kind of ability is a bit ashamed of Dao Wujian. Boom. Just then, the door opened again. I saw Lin Qingyu and Bai Ying standing at the door, who were dressed in new clothes. The two of them glanced around, and finally their eyes fell on Su Yan. "What are you doing here? Didn't you promise to go shopping with the two of us?" Su Yan scratched his head, thinking that he would be able to leave after recruiting Ling Bing. Who knows, because of Rowan, it took so long. At this time, Haley suddenly reached out and grabbed the collars of Lin Qingyu and Bai Ying. "You two, Su Yan, let's borrow it." As soon as these words came out, Haley's also looked at Dao Wujian, and Dao Wujian also spoke. "Your Excellency Su Yan, let's change place. The people of the Jin clan are now waiting for us in the Supreme Box opposite. Perhaps, you can also attend this meeting." Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing, then said to Dao Wujian, "Can I bring my crew over there?" "Sure." After getting the answer, Su Yan also looked at Ling Bing. "Let's go, my first mate." Ling Bing was stunned for a moment, then reacted. After thinking for a moment, Ling Bing also showed a heartwarming smile. "Let's go then." Lin Qingyu broke free from Haley's restraint and went directly to Su Yan's side to hug Su Yan's arm. "I want to go too." As for Bai Ying just glanced at Hai Lisi, and Hai Lisi let go of her angrily. What a joke. Bai Ying, as a Shinicist, has a much higher psionic level than Haley's. In terms of heads up, Haley's really isn't necessarily her opponent. Everyone left the private room, leaving only Rowan sitting on the ground with a pale face. Others also glanced at Rowan cautiously, but they didn't expect Su Yan to have such a large amount of energy now. Yun Qinghan stood in the crowd, and the shock in his eyes couldn't be further added. How long has it been since the last Vulcan farewell? Su Yan has grown so rapidly in a short period of time. Thinking of Ling Bing who was taken away by Su Yan, Yun Qinghan couldn't help but sigh. After getting on Su Yan's boat, Ling Bing will surely soar to the sky in the future. As for himself, it is estimated that he still needs to continue to seek opportunities in the Sea of Stars. And Su Yan's side has come to the Supreme Treasure Chest, and there are already many people sitting here in the treasure chest at this moment. Among them, Su Yan's eyes fell on Jin Shangwen, who was standing behind a member of the Jin clan. It was he who passed the news of Su Yan to everyone present. Now, the forces present are the Jin clan, the Sun Alliance, and the Shark Pirates. With Su Yan, there are 4 forces. Su Yan sat in the corner without saying a word, and the 3 forces present combined, the entire outer sea had to stop shaking. He just came here to recharge, and it can be regarded as a related household. And that Jin clan member saw Su Yan coming, and also stood up voluntarily. You must be the Lord Su Yan that Shang Wen said. Introduce myself, I am the president of the Jinei Chamber of Commerce and a member of the Jin clan. My name is Jin Luo, please give me more advice. The girl from the Jin clan who looked a little young in front of her also showed the etiquette of the nobles vividly. Seeing this, Su Yan also introduced herself politely. Subsequently, the quartet forces also began to take their seats. The meeting this time was simple, and it was about the battle for the Intrepid Victory. Since everyone is here, let's start our meeting this time. Obviously, this member of the Jin clan named Jin Luo was the one who spoke at this meeting. Dao Wujian, who represented the Sun Alliance, glanced at Hales on the opposite side. And Hales is a rascal. Seeing this, Dao Wujian was also the first to speak. Your Excellency Jin Luo, what are you trying to gather us here for? If it's to get us out of the fight for the Intrepid Victory, then let me say goodbye now. Now the Dark Elves are about to move, and our Sun Alliance is also expanding its armaments in response to the sudden attack. This S-class ship is a very important armament force for our Sun Alliance. At this time, Hales also expressed her attitude. Now that the inner sea is in turmoil, she also needs an S-class ship to expand her power. The Shark Pirates, if they can get the Dreadnought Victory, then the crazy Shark Pirates with 2 S-class ships will undoubtedly increase their strength greatly among the 10 Heavenly Kings. In the inner sea, strength is everything. Seeing that both of them would not give in, Su Yan also leaned back on the chair. What about your Excellency Su Yan? At this time, Jin Luo also looked at Su Yan. And Su Yan spread his hands. In terms of strength, I'm not as strong as the crazy Shark Pirates, in terms of power, I'm not as strong as the Sun Alliance, and in terms of financial resources, I'm not as strong as your Jin clan. So, I'm neutral, you guys talk about you first. Before reaching a conclusion, Su Yan naturally expressed neutrality. But at this moment, the system beep sounded. Ding, a special check-in location was detected, the scene of the Financial Star Conference. Special check-in location. Su Yan showed a smile. No wonder she didn't trigger the check-in after stepping on the Financial Star. It turned out that this sign-in reward was waiting for him here. Sign in. Ding, congratulations on getting the ATX laser cannon design drawing, and strengthening Yamato cannon design drawing. After seeing these 2 sign-in rewards, Su Yan was stunned. 2 design drawings, just gone. However, when Su Yan opened the introduction of the 2 blueprints, he could not help gasping for air. ATX laser cannon. Ship standard weapon. ATX laser turret will be installed on the ship after research and development. ATX laser turret can attack multiple targets at the same time. Enhanced Yamato cannon. Enhanced Yamato cannon. After research and development, the Yamato cannon will be able to fire 3 times in a row. Good guy. The appearance of the ATX laser cannon will indicate that the Yamato can finally face the group attack of the local fleet. The enhanced version of the Yamato cannon is more powerful, and Su Yan can fire 3 consecutive Yamato cannons in the future. Under the attack of the 3 Yamato guns, Su Yan did not believe that any ship could resist the continuous attack of the 3 Yamato guns. But then, Su Yan began to worry. The problem of recycled steel has just been solved, and these two things are undoubtedly another big expense. Now that my wallet is empty, how can I upgrade the Hyperion? At this moment, a call woke Su Yan from her thoughts. Your Excellency Su Yan, what do you think? Su Yan raised his head, and saw Dao Wujian, Hales and Jin Luo, all three's eyes fell on him. When Jin Luo saw Su Yan's blank face, she also carefully explained the content. We Jin clan can spend a lot of money to hire you to help us win the Dreadnought Victory. Miss Hales, what you need is a firm foothold in the inner sea, for which I am willing to give a mineral planet as a reward. Mr. Dao Wujian, what the Sun Alliance needs is armament strength, and I am willing to provide 100 A-class ships as a reward. It is not a loss for the Jin clan, and the shots are extremely arrogant. Even Dao Wujian and Hales were a little moved. 100 A-class ships are indeed much more valuable to the Sun Alliance than one S-class ship. After all, no matter how powerful an S-class ship is, it is just a ship. After thinking for a moment, Dao Wujian also stood up. This matter, I need to communicate with the above. And Hales is still hesitating here, a mineral planet is very tempting for her value. After all, she is an interstellar pirate, and the planetary territory is scarce. Of course, mineral-rich planets, even fewer. A mineral planet can bring not only rich ores, but also the economic lifeline of the entire crazy shark pirates. Thinking of this, Hales also lost her giggling look before. I also need to think about it. At this time, Jin Luo looked at Su Yan with a sweet smile. Your Excellency Su Yan, if you are willing to help our Jin clan will pay you 10 billion in commissions as a reward. As soon as these words came out, Su Yan was also a little moved. After all, he had no desire to compete for the Dreadnought Victory in the first place. No matter how powerful the Dreadnought Victory is, it is nothing but an S-class ship. I already own the Hyperion, and after adding recycled steel, ATX laser cannons and enhanced Yamato cannons, the Hyperion can be rated at least as an S+ ship. Thinking of this, Su Yan also asked, if I accept it, what do I need to do? Hearing this sentence, Jin Luo was also delighted. Unexpectedly, the first breakthrough was actually on Su Yan's side. So, Jin Luo also said, at that time, you only need to protect the ships of our Jin clan. Of course, compared to the Sun Alliance and the Mad Shark Pirates, your mission will be easier. Having said that, Jin Luo also looked at Su Yan. And Su Yan agreed to Jin Luo's request without hesitation. Later, Dao Wujian, the representative of the Sun Alliance, also returned, and he agreed to the request of the Jin clan. And the crazy shark pirates finally agreed to the conditions of the Jin clan. They also wanted to join the battle for the Dreadnought Victory, but the Jin clan gave too much. After the meeting, Su Yan decisively got his own commission. For the Jin clan, this 10 billion commission is really nothing. For Su Yan, it was a complete windfall. With this funding, he can start to upgrade the Hyperion. In this way, everyone began to gear up for the appearance of the Dreadnought Victory. Finally, on this day, the Jin clan received the news. An extremely large-scale warp storm occurred in the Silver Light Galaxy, and the time and place are accurate. Immediately set off with the whole army. Rumbling. A warp rift suddenly appeared at the center of the Silver Light Galaxy. Immediately afterwards, this crack released extremely terrifying warp energy. The powerful warp energy is pulling the surrounding meteorite fragments, and a terrifying energy storm is forming. Not only that, but with this energy raging, the warp crack is expanding frantically at a speed visible to the naked eye. The terrifying warp storm gradually swept the entire Silver Light Galaxy. At this moment, several streamers appeared in the space around the subspace storm. These streamers appear around the warp storm like shooting stars in the sky. The greenskin orc ships appeared first, followed by the Tao's fleet. A large number of interstellar pirates and mercenary groups swarmed like sharks smelling blood. At this moment alone, nearly tens of thousands of ships came to the warp storm. Everyone is looking forward to it, looking forward to the appearance of the rumored legendary ship Dreadnought Victory. The warp storm is getting more and more turbulent. At this moment, a ship broke out of the space transition state and appeared in front of everyone. The golden hull, with a huge golden angel standing on the bow. The whole ship makes people think of the word luxury, at first sight. And such a luxuriously decorated ship, anyone with a discerning eye can guess it. This ship is the S-class ship, Golden Glory, of the Jin clan. It's the Jin clan. They actually came to participate in the battle for the Dreadnought Victory. As the richest forces in the outer seas, if they don't come, then there are ghosts. It's the first time I've seen the Golden Glory of the Jin clan. I don't know if it will be broken in one shot. Before he finished speaking, 3 streams of light appeared around the Golden Glory. The 6 stars of the Sun Alliance lead the Dao Wujian, the flagship Liangyi Bagua. The 10-day king of the Shark Pirates, Hales, is the flagship of the Furious Sea and Fury. And the last rising star, Su Yan's flagship, the Hyperion. The 4 S-class ships appeared almost at the same time, and everyone was shocked. What's the situation? Why did these 4 forces suddenly gather? But in the next second, countless streamers appeared again, and dense ships appeared around the 4 ships. No matter which force they belonged to before, there is only one name now, and that is the Golden Alliance. Seeing such a terrifying fleet size, Su Yan couldn't help but sigh. Is this the power of the Alliance? Now, the ships of their Golden Alliance add up to 500. The combined attack of 500 ships, even S-class ships, would not last long. At this time, Su Yan also looked at the communication channel in front of him. Jin Luo, the energy of the warp will reach the critical value in 5 minutes, and the warp storm will break out completely by then. Jin Luo, before this, we try not to get close to the center of the warp storm. When the Dreadnought Victory appears, whoever dares to snatch it from us can just fire. Jin Luo, if someone can destroy the most enemy ships in this operation, our Jin clan will offer a reward of 50 billion, or equivalent items. As soon as these words came out, Hales in the communication channel was the first to sit still. Didn't expect this action to have a lot of luck. Hales smiled with white teeth. The game is good. I like the game the most. And at this moment, the warp storm began to vent again. I saw that the warp cracks were spreading at a speed visible to the naked eye. At this moment, the fleet of green orcs rushed up first. After seeing the green-skinned orcs in action, the surrounding mercenary groups seemed to have reacted and rushed frantically towards the warp storm. Rumbling, the warp storm swept up a large number of meteorite fragments, and the terrifying energy formed a thundercloud. One after another, the warp lightning burst out. For the new ship, charge. The green-skinned orcs attacked the center of the warp storm like a death squad. Seeing those fleets rushing towards the warp crack, Jin Luo also frowned. These green orcs are dying, and the energy of the warp cracks has not been fully released yet. Once approached, the warp energy erupts, and the power is no less than a plasma cannon. Boom! Along with a huge energy shock wave burst out from the crack in the subspace. The green-skinned orc ship at the front was directly blown away by the shock wave. But the biggest advantage of the green-skinned orcs is their numbers. They are like warriors who are not afraid of death. For glory, for the ship, rush. Whoosh! Suddenly, a UFO flew out of the warp storm. The UFO went straight through a green-skinned orc's ship. All the green orcs were stunned. What happened? In the next second, countless flying material warp cracks burst out. The greenskin orcs have a large number of ships, but their armor is extremely weak. Those flying objects were like missiles, falling directly into the fleet of green orcs. Squeak! The voices of unknown creatures came from the fleet of green orcs. For a while, the mercenary group that was still rushing forward stopped. Even the fleets on the periphery stopped. They are not the green-skinned orcs who only know how to charge. The UFO that just rushed out of the warp looks like some kind of creature. Warp creatures. At this moment, Bai Ying, who was cultivating spiritual energy, suddenly opened his eyes in the white night. She felt it, and the Zerg consciousness appeared. Boom! A sound like a heartbeat spread out in the silent space. All ships received this strange energy fluctuation. Boom! 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 It's like the heart is beating, and it's like the drums of war are beating. I saw that in the crack of the warp, a huge bow appeared in everyone's field of vision. The sun symbolizing glory, and the goddess statue holding the sun of glory rushed out of the warp space and appeared in front of the world again. It's the fearless victory. But the next second, everyone's surprised faces were fixed on their faces. The statue of the goddess holding the glorious sun suddenly opened her eyes, and her scarlet eyes looked like evil spirits from hell. A sharp roar ran through the entire Silverlight galaxy, and the other half of the goddess statue appeared in everyone's field of vision. However, the other half of this goddess statue, which symbolizes glory, is already shrouded in scarlet flesh and blood vines. The dreadnought Victory reappeared in the public eye after many years. However, when everyone saw the appearance of the fearless Victory, a chill came from the bottom of their hearts. Boom, 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 accompanied by a heartbeat like a drum of war, it spread in the silent sea of stars like a whisper of an evil god. The legendary ship Dreadnought Victory appeared in front of everyone. But looking at the ship in front of them, there was a touch of fear in everyone's eyes. The scarlet hull is covered with flesh and blood tentacles that look like blood vessels. 80% of the entire ship's body has been wrapped in dark red flesh. One has a Zerg brood attached to the deck of the Dreadnought Victory like a pustule. At this moment, the Dreadnought Victory, which has experienced the erosion of time in the warp, appeared in everyone's field of vision. But now it can be regarded as a ship, and no one can be sure. Just seeing the Dreadnought Victory in front of them, they all felt a chill behind them. Hiss. At this moment, a new figure appeared in the warp crack behind the Dreadnought Victory. The frigate of the fearless Victory was also shrouded in the Zerg mother nest at this moment. The dark red flesh and blood hull looks like a creation of the evil god. A large number of octopus-like Zerg stood on the deck, making heart-pounding screams. Fear spreads among the fleet. What the hell is this? Retreat. This is not the Dreadnought Victory we are looking for. Before he finished speaking, countless evil eyes suddenly opened on the side of the fearless Victory. One after another, artillery eroded by flesh and blood rises. Boom. In the next second, countless blood-filled shells fell on the ships at the forefront like a torrential rain. Rumbling. For a time, a large number of ships exploded directly. A large number of flesh and blood missiles exploded the moment they touched the ship. Immediately afterwards, those octopus-like Zerg jumped up. They just jumped up, and their bodies attacked the ships of the Green Orcs and the ships of those mercenaries like missiles. Seeing this scene, Su Yan finally understood what those sudden flying objects were. Why did the Dreadnought Victory become such a ghost? Even Jin Luo, who had received noble etiquette since childhood, could not help but utter foul language at this time. Their Jin clan spent a lot of wealth just to be able to win the fearless Victory. But now that the fearless Victory has turned into this ghost, how can she explain to the family? At this time, the Tau fleet was also the channel that applied to join the Golden Alliance. Jin Luo also added it to the communication channel, and now they are grasshoppers tied to the same front. Tau leader. Everyone, the legendary ship Dreadnought Victory has been eroded by the Warp Zerg, and now we must unite against these Zerg fleets. Tau leader. If I'm not wrong, the next goal of the Dreadnought Victory should be to land on a planet. The Tau leader. We must stop the Dreadnought Victory. Once it lands on a planet, that planet will become a breeding ground for the Zerg, and the entire Star Sea will face the threat of the Zerg. As soon as these words came out, Dao Wujian also immediately affirmed. They never imagined that the Dreadnought Victory they were fighting for would actually become a hotbed for the Zerg lair. Now, the prey has become a hunter, and they must stop the Zerg from spreading again in the Shanghai. Jin Luo also immediately said, change the next battle plan, attack the fearless Victory with all firepower, and let it land safely. The fleets, which were still fighting separately, reached a consensus at this moment. Hales took the lead in rushing into the Zerg fleet with the shark pirates. Little ones, fire, let these Zerg see how powerful the ocean sharks are. With an order, a large amount of artillery fire attacked the fearless Victory like a torrential rain. But at this moment, a large number of Zerg fleets directly blocked in front of the fearless Victory. A lot of artillery fire fell on the Zerg fleet, but the ships of the Zerg fleet were composed entirely of Zerg flesh and blood. As long as the Zerg mother nest is not killed, their ships can continue to sail. When Dao Wujian saw this, he immediately commanded his ships. The power furnace of the Bagua Liangyi told the operation, and in the next second, two super strong plasma laser beams attacked the fearless Victory directly like sharp swords. Boom! The plasma laser beam penetrated directly through the Zerg ship, but when the plasma laser beam fell on the Dreadnought Victory, a psionic shield emerged. Psionic shield. My ship's plasma beam can't even break the shield of the Intrepid Victory. Fearless Victory is also the original S-class ship. You must first clean up the surrounding Zerg fleet. The voice did not fall, in the gap that the plasma beam had just broken. Su Yan's Hyperion blatantly appeared in the gap. Before the Zerg fleet could react, Su Yan had already locked onto the Fearless Victory. Lock the target, strengthen the Yamato cannon. Charging is complete. Emission. Boom. A Yamato cannon landed directly on the psionic shield of the Dreadnought Victory. The Zerg lair screamed, and a large number of Zerg ships attacked Su Yan. Su Yan's face was indifferent when the Zerg ships approached. The Valkyrie attacked brazenly, and the terrifying episode number rockets released like a torrential rain. In the starry sky, countless flames drowned the Zerg flagship. In the endless flames, Su Yan brazenly launched the second Yamato cannon. Boom! The second Yamato cannon landed directly on the Dreadnought Victory's psionic shield. At this time, the psionic shield actually began to gradually fade and finally disappeared. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Su Yan's Hyperion actually knocked out the opponent's shield. But it's not the last. The third Yamato cannon. Emission. Boom. The Yamato cannon that penetrated the starry sky directly bombarded the hull of the Fearless Victory. The endless artillery fire engulfed half of the Dreadnought Victory in an instant. The piercing screams came from the Fearless Victory, and the Zerg brood sent out screaming waves. At this moment, all the Zerg fleets turned their turrets. Rumbling. In all directions, dense psionic laser cannons attacked Su Yan's Hyperion. With such an intensive attack, even the fastest ships in the world could not escape. Under such an attack, even S-class ships will definitely be severely damaged. The space jump is ready. Space jump. Whoosh. The next second, the Hyperion disappeared directly in place. Countless psionic laser cannons instantly gathered in one place, and endless psionic energy erupted, forming a storm of destruction. What about the Su Yan people? Just when everyone was wondering, Su Yan's Hyperion reappeared in the Alliance fleet. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. They never thought that Su Yan's ships were so powerful. Not only can such a powerful artillery fire be continuously launched, but also a short-distance space jump. They are all S-class ships. Why is the gap so big? Haley's envy. Su Yan's ship is simply her dream ship. Not only is the firepower strong enough, but if you can't beat it, you can immediately jump out of the encirclement. His own Raging Sea, although as a biological ship, the defense is amazing and the endurance is strong. But compared to Su Yan's firepower, it's a bit inferior. And Dao Wujian also saw the power of the Hyperion at this moment. Your Excellency Su Yan, is your ship for sale? The price is negotiable. Jin Luo was also envious after seeing the power of the Su Yan Hyperion. What Dreadnought Victory, wasn't it still bombarded by Su Yan's ships? Among all the ships I have seen, Su Yan's ships are definitely among the top ships in terms of attack power and escape energy. But these people don't know that the current Hyperion has been strengthened by Su Yan's tens of billions of star coins. Its ship rating is at least at the S+ level, which is not a level at all compared with ordinary S-class ships. However, Su Yan did not say it explicitly, and also said it in the communication channel. Now the Zerg fleet has been eyeing me, and the next round of attacks will be launched in 10 minutes. Tau Star Battleship and Shark Pirates, you give me a cooldown. The ships of the Jin Clan and the Sun Alliance, you two ships will help me clear a suitable gap when the time comes. Clear. The four fleets also agreed with Su Yan's plan. At this moment, something shocking happened to everyone. I saw a layer of psionic shield rise again on the surface of the Fearless Victory. Seeing this psionic shield rise again, Dao Wujian and Haley's were both numb. Can this psionic shield recover automatically? Doesn't that mean no, our attack just now was all in vain? Not for nothing. At least Su Yan's attack did damage to it. Hiss. The Dreadnought Victory once again sent orders to the surrounding Zerg fleet. At this time, everyone began to discover that among those Zerg fleets, some Zerg fleets actually began to change. Their bodies began to collide like balloons. Seeing these colliding, Zerg ships like hot air balloons, they also looked solemn. Attention to all ships, there are changes in the Zerg fleet, all pay attention to vigilance. Don't stop the firepower, we must not let the Zerg fleet get close to our line of defense. The artillery fire of many fleets and the psionic fire of the Zerg fleet were intertwined into a large net in the galaxy. But at this moment, a Zerg ship plunged into the fleet of the Sun Alliance. The next second, the Zerg ship inflated like a balloon. Boom! The fire soared into the sky, and a huge shock wave spread among the fleet. Almost instantly, several ships were directly swallowed by flames. But in such a short time, several Zerg ships broke through the blockade and fell into the fleet. Boom! 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 The fire was soaring into the sky, and the endless shock wave was like a stone falling into the lake, setting off thousands of ripples. A large number of bombers fell into the fleet. The self-exploding insect ship broke through the defense line at an extremely fast speed, and a series of explosions sounded. Every time the explosion sounded, several ships would fall. For a time, the Golden Alliance has lost hundreds of ships. As long as the Zerg has flesh and blood, they can continuously produce ships, and their ships can self-destruct. But the ships on the Golden Alliance side can't stand such consumption. For a time, the defense line of the Golden Alliance was on the verge of collapse. And at this moment, the originally silent Fearless Victory also burst into an astonishing breath. A cannon of flesh and blood stretched out from the bow, and the power of terrifying psionic energy gathered at the muzzle. Not good. It's aimed at you. Haley's dodge. Boom. The scarlet psionic beam landed directly on the furious sea and raging waves with lightning speed. The violent psionic energy directly devoured the raging sea and raging waves. There was an incredible look on everyone's face, and the Zerg's counterattack was so sudden and so intense. They haven't seen the Zerg for too many years, so that they forget the terrible Zerg fleet. Boom! The psionic light wave erupted, and the powerful psionic aftermath directly overturned more than a dozen ships around it. Seeing this scene, Su Yan gritted her teeth. The Yamato cannon has cooled down. Dao Wujian, open a way for me. After receiving the order, Dao Wujian did not hesitate. Plasma beams shot out from both sides of the ship, and the two laser beams directly penetrated all the Zerg ships along the way. Fill me with firepower. But Commander, if the power is full, our ship will be in an overloaded state for 5 minutes. In an overloaded state, all the power of the ship will be overheated and cannot be used. This means that they will become a living target. But Dao Wujian doesn't care. This is the last chance. The Dreadnought Victory is already close to the deflagration star, and it is absolutely impossible for this ship to successfully land on the deflagration star. Fill me up. Dao Wujian firmly ordered. All crew members no longer hesitate, and the power of the plasma beam is increased several times in an instant. The Dreadnought Victory's psionic barrier resurfaced, but it eventually disappeared under the full power plasma beam attack. Last chance. Fire. Boom. The first Yamato cannon fires. The artillery fire was released, and the Yamato cannon directly hit the hull of the Dreadnought Victory. The terrifying flames directly engulfed half of its hull. Boom. The second Yamato cannon is fired. The violent energy directly penetrated the Dreadnought Victory. The amazing energy of the Yamato cannon directly ignited the entire Dreadnought Victory. Boom. Third-party Yamato cannon firing. With a loud bang, the Dreadnought Victory was blasted into 2 halves. A huge explosion shock wave spread around the Dreadnought Victory. The Fearless Victory turned into a mass of fire and fell directly towards the deflagration star. Seeing this scene, everyone's faces are full of incredible. They won. But at this moment, Bai Ying's voice appeared behind Su Yan. No, the Zerg consciousness on that ship hasn't died yet. Hiss. Under the eyes of the public, all the Zerg ships seem to be summoned to attack the detonating star. The battle is not over yet. Chapter 51. How is the damage to the crazy shark pirates? At this time, everyone is most concerned about the situation on Hela's side. Her flagship took the frontal shot of the Dreadnought Victory, and it was replaced by other ships. It is estimated that it has been replaced by countless fragments at this time. But when everyone looked at it, they couldn't help but be a little surprised. I saw the psionic fire ignited by psychic energy, hovering around the furious sea and raging waves like a vortex. Roar. At this time, the bow of the furious sea and raging waves seemed to grow sharp teeth. In an instant, all the psionic fire was absorbed. At this time, everyone saw that a huge gap appeared on the side of the hull of the furious sea. But what is shocking is that this gap is like flesh and blood at this time, and it begins to slowly recover under the interweaving of psychic power. The entire rage of the furious sea seems to have life, absorbing all the psychic fire to supply itself. Is this the ability of the legendary raging sea and raging waves? At this moment, in the communication channel, Hela's figure reappeared. Ha ha ha, make everyone worry. Don't worry, although my furious sea raging tide is weak in attack power, it's still okay in terms of defensive power. It's not too late, everyone, it's time for the final offensive. Seeing that Hades was safe and sound, everyone was also amazed at the magic of the furious sea. The crazy shark pirates have become one of the 10 kings of the inland sea, and it seems that they have something on them. Since the furious sea and raging tide was all right, their gazes again fell on the deflagration star. At this moment, all the ships drove towards the deflagration star. The ship began to slowly approach the deflagration star. Just as the first ship entered the atmosphere, several psionic laser cannons landed directly on the ship. Rumbling, the dazzling fire light illuminates the turbid atmosphere of the deflagrating star. Enemy attack. A large number of Zerg fleets are ambushed in the atmosphere with the help of the cover of turbid substances in the atmosphere. When the Alliance fleet falls, give a fatal blow directly. Rumbling, massive psionic lasers fell on the Hyperion's armor. Su Yan frowned, and sure enough, the Zerg brood had not been completely wiped out. Otherwise, it is impossible for these Zerg ships to launch such a ferocious attack. The entire Hyperion shook wildly, and a large number of psionic lasers fell on the armor. Su Yan immediately turned on the defense matrix, but under such a terrifying laser attack, defense could not solve the problem. And at this moment, Ling Bing came to Su Yan's side. Su Yan, I have just learned about the situation from Bai Ying, do I need to intervene? Su Yan glanced at Ling Bing with a trusting smile on her face. Just say it. At this time, in the communication channel, the captains of other fleets also looked towards Su Yan. Seeing that Ling Bing's face became very indifferent at this moment, she began to analyze the situation on the battlefield and opened up the most secure path for the Golden Alliance. The situation is different now. Before, we were the defender and the Zerg attacker. But now we are the attackers, the Zerg are the defenders, our positions are different, and our tactics need to be changed. The Zerg delays our time just to delay the mother nest. We only need to kill the mother nest, even if it is our victory. My suggestion is to organize several small fleets to attack the 3 weak points of the Zerg. Only by rushing out of a bloody road can our army drive straight in. At this time, Dao Wujian of the Sun Alliance also sank. He knew very well what the outcome of the small fleet charging Zerg would be. Let the small army go to die. Dao Wujian is a little unacceptable. Let his comrades go to die, and then step on the comrades' corpses to welcome victory. Is this kind of thing really humane? But at this time, Ling Bing said lightly, there will always be victims in wars, and glorious victory without sacrifices. If I'm not wrong, those Zerg self-destruction fleets are coming. As soon as the voice fell, a loud noise was deafening. The familiar and terrifying explosion sounded again. Sure enough, those terrifying Zerg self-destruction troops attacked again. One after another self-destructing ships rushed into the fleet of the Golden Alliance without fear, and fierce fire burst into the sky. Report, half of the ships of our crazy shark pirates have been destroyed. Report, our Sun Alliance ships suffered heavy losses. Report, our Tau fleet has lost more than half. ... One after another bad news came, can't hesitate any longer. Jin Luo looked at the woman behind Su Yan, this guy is a real war machine. On the battlefield, all life is just a chess piece in her eyes. And she is the chess player, where did Su Yan find such a terrifying guy? Only this guy who sees everything as nothing can see the situation on the battlefield more clearly than others. Time to make a decision. Soldiers, for the safety of Xinghai, for the glory of the Jin clan. Those who are willing to rush through a bloody path for the large army, come and sign up with me. The Golden Clan fleet, the Sun Alliance fleet, the Crazy Shark pirates, the Tau fleet, and the 4 fleets have all divided up a vanguard team. It's time to charge. Su Yan looked at the ships that were dying and attacked the Zerg fleet without hesitation. I will be your sword. Valkyrie, attack. 10 Valkyries burst into the sky with rockets, and the Zerg fleet blocking the way instantly turned into a cloud of fireworks. Other Zerg fleets also broke out again, and they discovered the plan of the Golden Alliance. The bomber ship rushed over, but at this time, the Valkyrie directly intercepted them. The Vanguard team is like a precise scalpel, cutting a bloody path directly from the encirclement of the Zerg. The Zerg's defense line finally had a gap, but they also paid a huge price. The Golden Alliance's fleet rushed out of the atmosphere, and after seeing the scene of the detonating star in front of them, they couldn't help but gasp. Centered on the wreckage of the fearless Victory, the Zerg brood has grown to a height of 100 meters. A large number of pulse-like flesh and blood tentacles spread out, and in just such a short time, the land in front of them has been assimilated into a breeding ground for Zerg hatching. Can't let it continue to spread and start orbital bombardment. It is absolutely impossible to let these Zerg continue to spread. Once the entire deflagration star is assimilated, it will be troublesome. Executing orbital bombing orders. All attention, don't waste any ammo. Use all means to exterminate the Zerg, and all ammunition losses will be borne by my Jin clan. As soon as the voice fell, a loud bang sounded in the ground. A huge fire soared into the sky, and the thick smoke turned into a mushroom cloud and rose. In the communication channel, the corner of Su Yan's mouth rose slightly. What are you still doing? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Only at this time did Su Yan understand what it means to be on fire. A large number of fusion warheads were launched from the body of the Hyperion. The fusion warheads in the sky landed in the worm nest, and in an instant, the endless fire set off a prairie and covered the entire land. Now that the Jin clan has set it, the ammunition loss will be borne by them. Su Yan naturally also let go of his hands and feet. It is cool to have a boss with deep pockets. Rumbling. The terrifying power of the fusion warhead made the rest of the Golden Alliance gasp. Tactical nuclear weapons. Su Yan's ship still has this type of weapon installed. Hades laughed. Su Yan, I really like you more and more. Lord Su Yan's ship is the strongest ship I have ever seen among all ships. Even Dao Wujian was hot at the moment. His firepower was terrifying, and his body was flexible. Su Yan's Hyperion was simply a perfect ship. The other ships did not hesitate, and the Golden Rongfa threw a large number of missiles. The rest of the ships are even more omnipresent. As long as it is something that can explode, all items are thrown down. For a time, the scene was shocking. In the sky, the Zerg ships frantically attacked the ships of the Golden Alliance, as if making a final counterattack. But the people of the Golden Alliance seem to be crazy. Even if they are hit by a Zerg ship, they will risk their lives to attack the Zerg mother nest on the ground. Boom! With a loud bang, the volcano of the deflagration star also ejected a large amount of lava under the terrifying attack. Countless flaming meteors fell like a torrential rain, which made the already precarious Zerg mother nest even worse. The battle is set. The activity of the surrounding Zerg ships began to decrease, and some Zerg ships plunged directly into the volcano. Without the command of the Zerg brood, these Zerg ships immediately became headless flies. Seeing this, everyone in the Golden Alliance couldn't help but be overjoyed. Great, they won. For the dead comrades, for our glory, the counterattack begins. With a single order, the Golden Alliance's counterattack began. The artillery fire was noisy, and countless Zerg ships were shot down. The self-destructing Zerg ship even forgot how to self-destruct. The Zerg do not have the wisdom support of the Mother Hive. They are a group of beasts, without wisdom at all. Su Yan directly activated the ATX laser array, and a large number of lasers fell on the Zerg ship. A large number of Zerg ships fell one after another, and the lava on the ground could not even swallow it completely. The wreckage of the Zerg ship covered the entire surface of the deflagration star. I don't know how long it took. Most of the Zerg ships were wiped out, and the remaining part was sent by the Golden Alliance to pursue them. It's finally over. I didn't expect this kind of thing to happen. Seeing that the Zerg fleet was finally wiped out, Hades was also relieved. Dao Wujian's heart that has been hanging has also been put down, and the remaining Zerg ships can't make much of a climate. As long as the Zerg mother nest is solved, the rest of the Zerg will not be able to make any waves at all. However, just in case, the Golden Alliance also dispatched chasing troops. Be sure to exterminate the Zerg. Jin Luo sat in the Golden Glory with a secret thought in her heart. This time, the Jin clan suffered a big loss, but they eliminated the Zerg. This matter can be marketed, and it can also increase the reputation of the Golden Galaxy. Everyone relaxed. but Su Yan frowned slightly, always feeling that something was wrong. The Zerg's vitality is extremely powerful. Under the burning of volcanic lava, it was really destroyed. Just when Su Yan thought so, the lava on the surface of the deflagration star suddenly began to churn. Not good. Seeing the lava moving, Su Yan suddenly felt that something was wrong. Brush. Several flesh and blood tentacles burst out from the lava, and these flesh and blood tentacles directly grabbed the furious sea-raging wave. Immediately afterwards, these flesh and blood tentacles seized the flagships of other fleets. Su Yan pressed the space jump for the first time, and the Hyperion disappeared directly in place. When the Hyperion reappeared, it had already appeared above the sky, and the flesh and blood tentacles could only be incompetent and furious. Immediately afterwards, the tentacles of flesh and blood directly pulled the flagships of other fleets to the ground. The ship's power system is paralyzed. The Zerg mother nest has not been destroyed yet. It's deliberately showing weakness, in order to wipe us out. What to do? Our ship has fallen into lava, and the power system has been paralyzed. The fleet of the Golden Alliance panicked at this time, and their flagships were dragged down. Now their artillery fire has been poured out in the orbital bombardment just now. Now, if you want to solve them, you can only airborne. But the ground of the deflagration star is full of lava, and the only place they can settle is those Zerg wreckage. Such an environment is too difficult for their marine soldiers. Misfortunes do not come singly. A large number of Zerg drilled out of the lava. When everyone saw these Zerg soldiers walking out of the lava, their expressions changed. Has the Zerg mother nest been able to produce lava-resistant Zerg soldiers? For a time, the 4 flagships of the Golden Alliance also fell into a difficult moment. But at this moment, a cannonball fell from the sky. Boom! The Hyperion's Yamato cannon landed directly on the center of all the tentacles. Sure enough, under the bombardment of the shells, hidden under the lava, the last Zerg mother nest revealed its shape. The Zerg brood looked at the Hyperion in the sky and let out a roar of incompetence and fury. Watching the Zerg fleet gradually surround the 4 flagships, Su Yan's face was sinking. Attention, the Predator is preparing to airborne, targeting the Golden Glory. Iron Pilot is ready to airborne, target Furious Sea Shark. The Guardian Army is ready to airborne, the target Bagua Liangyi. Viking fighters start patrol mode, ready to support the battlefield at any time. At this moment, Su Yan is the only flagship in the Golden Alliance that has not been captured. Su Yan also began to command his own ground units to start airborne. At this time, Ling Bing also added, the soldiers of the Golden Alliance should not be idle, at least they can land on the wreckage of the surrounding Zerg ships to provide fire support for them. Good, good. In this case, the fleet on Su Yan's side became the backbone. Su Yan was in command of the overall situation on the Hyperion, and his combat troops began to drop down as the Hyperion moved. Ling Bing, you are in charge of commanding the remaining fleet of the Golden Alliance for support. Clear. The battlefield situation gradually stabilized. Along with the movement of the Hyperion, the Predator troops, the Iron Pilots and the Guardian troops descended on the ground battlefield one after another. Hiss. The Zerg brood let out a shrill, piercing scream. When a Golden Alliance ship was preparing to airborne soldiers, huge flesh and blood tentacles smashed directly at them. But the next second, a Yamato cannon directly penetrated the flesh and blood tentacles. That flesh and blood tentacle was directly smashed by Yamato cannon. The Zerg mother nest let out a scream. In the sky, Su Yan aimed again. Yamato cannon fired. Boom! With a loud noise, the Yamato cannon shattered a fleshy tentacle again. Immediately afterwards, the 3rd Yamato cannon was fired. The terrifying energy directly devoured the flesh and blood tentacles. This time, the hatred of the Zerg brood was directly placed on the Hyperion. Seeing this, Su Yan also used the space transition again. The Hyperion disappeared directly in place, and reappeared, which was out of the attack range of the flesh and blood tentacles. Facing the Hyperion in the distance, the Zerg brood could only be incompetent and furious. But the ships of other fleets were not so lucky, they were entangled in the Zerg mother nest and couldn't move. I really envy Su Yan's ship, which can make space transitions at will. If my ship has this function, it will not be pressed here and cannot move. Now, we can only pin our hopes on Su Yan. Our fleet has been emptied of ammunition, and this Zerg brood is the last one. Whether we were swallowed by the Zerg, or whether Su Yan saved us from the fire, can only see Su Yan. Several people also laughed bitterly. They did not expect that in the end, they would pin their hopes on Su Yan. In the fleet of several people, Su Yan's strength is obviously the weakest. However, he made brilliant achievements in battle. Blast the Dreadnought Victory, break through the Zerg defenses, and now fight the Zerg brood. Everything Su Yan has done is far beyond their imagination. Boom! Suddenly, alarm bells rang out in the golden glory. Jin Luo's face suddenly turned pale, and this alarm bell meant that a Zerg had penetrated into the cabin. Sure enough, in the corridor, a 3-meter-tall giant Zerg soldier rushed in. The limbs are like spears, and the sturdy shell faces the threat of bullets, and there is no fear at all. Hiss! The giant Zerg soldier let out a roar, and then rushed directly to a Jin clan warrior. Puff! Blood splattered everywhere, and the Zerg soldiers were like ruthless killing machines. Seeing such a tragic situation, Jin Luo in the bridge became even paler when she saw these Zerg soldiers. The soldiers under her can't resist the threat of giant Zerg soldiers. One after another Zerg soldiers crawled in from the gap, and a group of Zerg teams had gathered in the corridor. These Zerg soldiers are attacking the bridge with unmatched momentum, and more Zerg soldiers are invading. The fear of death suddenly enveloped Jin Luo's heart. But at this moment, the Zerg soldiers who were invading from the gap in the screen suddenly stopped. Immediately afterwards, all the Zerg felt a chill in their hearts. Boom! A Zerg soldier's head fell from the gap. The next second, a predator fell from the gap. Before the Zerg soldiers could react, the predator jumped up, and the wrist blade in his hand emitted a cold light. Brush! That Zerg soldier was directly beheaded by the predator. No matter how strong the Zerg's shell is, the neck is still their weakest point. Hiss! At this time, the Zerg soldiers also reacted and surrounded the predator. But then, another predator jumped in. Several predators entered the cabin, and then, these predators aimed at the heads of the Zerg soldiers, and the plasma shoulder cannon fired decisively. Boom! 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 Without any hesitation, these predators turned into Zerg hunters, crushing Zerg soldiers with unparalleled strength. Jin Luo's eyes lit up when she saw these powerful predator in the bridge. Compared with the warriors of the Jin clan on his side, these predator warriors are completely superhuman beings. On the furious sea and raging waves, Hades looked at such a powerful iron driver, and a layer of light appeared in her eyes. What a powerful warrior! It would be great if these warriors could be brought under my command. Thinking of this, Hades looked at her crew, look at other people's crew, and then look at you. Several pirates also scratched their heads after seeing the amazing performance of the Iron Pilot. And Hades also secretly thought that after the battle, she had to ask Su Yan where she got so many powerful warriors. As for Dao Wujian's side, the strength of the Guardian Army was an eye-opener. The Guardian Army did not give the Zerg a chance to infiltrate the Bagua Liangyi. Saw the escort infiltrators, armed with power swords and tasers. Before those Zerg came close, they were directly dealt with by taser guns. Even those who came to the infiltrator of the Guardian Army were directly dealt with by him with the power sword. These Zerg soldiers are still too weak compared to the Tyranids in the Warhammer world. As for the Ruststalker of the Guardian Army, it was a crushing situation. The Ruststalker directly caught up with a Zerg soldier, and at this time, the sonic blade burst out with a special sound wave. The Zerg soldiers who heard this sound wave froze in place. And the Ruststalker shreds these Zerg to pieces with ease. For a time, the situation on the entire battlefield had undergone earth-shaking changes just because 3,000 troops joined. The Viking fighters in the sky were full of firepower, and the Zerg on the Tau Star fleet didn't even have time to board the ship, and were directly smashed into pieces by the firepower of the Viking fighters. Su Yan leads the overall situation in the sky, and Ling Bing directs the soldiers of the Golden Alliance to continuously support the 4 flagships. The Yamato cannon has cooled down and can be fired again at any time. Seeing the cooling down notification of the Yamato cannon, Su Yan's eyes fell on the Zerg brood. After some entanglement, there are only 5 flesh and blood tentacles left in the current Zerg mother nest. Next, when it stretches out its tentacles, it will also reveal the location of the Zerg mother nest. It's time, it's over. Emission. Boom. A cannon rang out, and the Yamato cannon directly hit the Zerg brood. The explosion sounded, and the violent heat wave directly set off thousands of waves. Boom! 2 cannons rang out, and the Zerg brood was engulfed by flames. Su Yan didn't dare to slack off at all, and launched again with the attention of thousands of people. Boom! Sanlian Yamato cannon hits the Zerg brood like a god's punishment. The terrifying energy of the Yamato cannon set off a violent aftermath. Countless lava was pushed away, and the Zerg mother nest appeared in front of everyone. Under the watchful eyes of the public, the Zerg mother nest with a diameter of more than 100 meters gradually turned into ashes like a leaking balloon. And the tentacles of flesh and blood that wrap around many flagships are gradually withering at this moment. Seeing this, all the flagships took off immediately, daring not to slack off. Without the command of the Zerg mother nest, those Zerg soldiers ushered in the moment of slaughter. In the communication channel, the Tau leader looked at Su Yan. "You are the most potential human I have ever seen. You saved the lives of our Tau, and the Tau will regard you as a partner. Thank you, Su Yan. Without you, we would all be damaged here. I would like to express my gratitude to you on behalf of the Sun Alliance." Ha ha ha, I knew that your kid must have something to do. It seems that it was the right decision not to abduct you into our crazy shark pirates. Thank you, Your Excellency Su Yan, for your help. The Jin clan is very grateful. After the battle is over, there will be a great reward. The captains of the 4 fleets also expressed their gratitude to Su Yan. Su Yan looked at the leaders of the 4 fleets on the communication channel and was relieved. Fighting against the Zerg is what we all the people of Shanghai should do. After saying this polite remark, Su Yan also asked Lin Qingyu to call Bai Ying over. No one knows these Zerg better than the White Warbler. Before Bai Ying's confirmation, he still did not dare to slack off. At this time, Bai Ying also came to the bridge. "Master Captain, congratulations on destroying the Zerg conspiracy again. It seems that I didn't choose the wrong person at the beginning." Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also smiled faintly. Afterwards, Su Yan also looked at Bai Ying. "As a Shinicist, you are very sensitive to the Zerg. Do you think there is a Zerg mother nest on this planet? There can be no slack in the post-war cleanup operations, especially for these Zerg." And Bai Ying shook his head. "I can no longer feel the existence of the will of the Zerg." "That's fine." Thinking of this, Su Yan was also relieved. The Battle of the Silver Light Galaxy has officially come to an end. No one thought that the legendary ship Fearless Victory was eroded by the Zerg and turned into a Zerg flagship in the warp. Fortunately, under the suppression of the Golden Alliance, the Zerg army was successfully killed on the deflagration star. This unwarranted disaster also ended in the cradle. As for the treasures of the ancient empire carried by the Intrepid Victory, even if there is, it should be turned into ashes under the erosion of the Zerg. At this time, Su Yan was resting on the Golden Galaxy Sunstar. Swimming pool, villa, and several beautiful crew members in swimsuits. Su Yan also exhaled, not so relaxed for a long time. This villa is a property gifted to Su Yan by the Jin clan. In this Golden Galaxy where every inch of land is worth the money, the price of a villa is as high as billions of stars. But does the Kim clan care? They don't care. At this time, Bai Ying walked out of the villa. "Captain, what was found in the Zerg mother nest some time ago has been analyzed." Hearing this sentence, Su Yan also sat up from the reclining chair. "Take me over there." Some time ago, after the Battle of the Silver Light Galaxy, a predator found an aquamarine stone from the wreckage of the Zerg brood. He brought the stone to Su Yan, and Bai Ying recognized the stone as a treasure ball. This treasure sphere can only be opened with the use of psionic power. And today, Bai Ying finally unlocked the treasure ball. Walking into the villa, Su Yan also saw debris scattered on the ground. Among the fragments, a green seed was suspended in the air. "Congratulations to the captain, what is inside is an extremely rare psionic seed. As long as you touch this psionic seed can enter your body. By that time, you will be able to become a Shinicist." Psionic seeds. Su Yan was a little excited, but did not expect that there was a psionic seed in this treasure ball. This psionic seed is likely to be one of the treasures of the ancient empire that was loaded on the Dreadnought Victory. The Jin clan also scanned the deflagration star several times, but found no valuable treasures. Unexpectedly, the most valuable treasure is actually here. Su Yan also did not hesitate to hold the psionic seed directly in his hand. At this moment, Su Yan felt as if an electric current spread through his body. An unknown force is bursting out of his body. I don't know how long it took. When Su Yan opened her personal panel again, she couldn't help but feel happy. Name: Su Yan. Race: humans of the solar system. Psionic value: 2000. Strength: 70. Physique: 70. Spirit: 80. Skills: psionic control, psionic perception, A-class ship driving skills. Holding ships: S-class Hyperion, A-class White Knight, B-class Valkyrie. Good guy. After absorbing the psionic energy seed, his psionic energy value soared directly to 2000 points. Strength and physique have been improved slightly, and the spiritual power improvement is the most significant. No wonder everyone wants to be a psyker. Su Yan also felt the power coming from her body and felt a burst of joy in her heart. After becoming a Shinicist, in the future, even if he encounters other Shinicist enemies, he will be able to deal with it. Thinking of this, Su Yan also secretly thought, it's time to plan a move to the Inland Sea. But before that, Su Yan still intends to stay in the Golden Galaxy for a while. Now that I have the favor of the Jin clan, I may be able to buy a few astrolabe coordinates here. Before entering the Inland Sea, it is necessary to pass through the Devil's Triangle, which is the only way to enter the Inland Sea. Many fleets have been damaged there. For the sake of insurance, I still need to increase the strength of the fleet. At least install recycled steel on other ships, so that the endurance will be greatly improved. Just when Su Yan thought about it, a message popped up on his tech watch. Jin Luo. Mr. Su Yan, please come to the Burning Star now, we have something important to discuss. Closing square bracket. Exploding star. Su Yan frowned slightly after seeing this location. Did something happen over there? Thinking of this, Su Yan also stood up. He has repeatedly confirmed before that the Zerg on the deflagration star have been cleaned up. Could it be about the ancient imperial treasure aboard the Intrepid Victory? But if the Dreadnought Victory does have remnants of ancient imperial treasures, it should be made public as well. After thinking about it, Su Yan also took the star track directly to the Silver Star port. After the battle, his own ships have been maintained in the star port. Not to mention other ships, the maintenance of their own Hyperion should be completed now. After all, the current Hyperion is loaded with recycled steel. Post-battle damage heals quickly, so the Hyperion just needs a little maintenance. Soon, they also came to the deflagration star. After arriving at the coordinates sent by Jin Luo, Su Yan also drove the Hyperion to the designated location. A huge dock is erected around the wreck of the current Intrepid Victory. For the Jin clan, even if the Dreadnought Victory shatters into slag, they must extract a little value from it. They're going to try and restore the Intrepid Victory, and if they can't fix it, throw it into a museum as an exhibit. It has to be said that the business acumen of the Jin clan is still good. And Su Yan landed in the parking lot built by the Jin clan engineering team, and at this time, Su Yan also discovered that the Furious Sea and Raging Wave was also here. Dao Wujian also walked down from Hela's ship, and the Bagua Liangyi has been sent back to the Sun Alliance for maintenance. The others were also summoned here by Jin Luo, and at this time, Jin Luo also appeared in front of everyone. Behind her, several Jin clan warriors escorted a dark elf. After seeing this dark elf, everyone could not help but frown slightly. How could the dark elves be here? Today, the dark elves have a terrible reputation. These dark elves colluded with the Zerg, and also placed Zerg mother nests in various planetary worlds, making the current Shanghai once again in turmoil. Unexpectedly, they actually appeared in the open sea again. Hey, if I want to kill you or I will follow you, I won't explain anything. Snapped. Jin Luo slapped the dark elf's face with a slap. Her tone was cold and without any emotion. Shut up. If you speak again without my permission, I will throw you into the mine as a slave. Want to die? How could you die so easily? Hearing these words, everyone couldn't help but feel a chill behind their backs. Unexpectedly, Jin Luo, who looks cold and dignified on weekdays, has such a dark side. And Jin Luo also explained to everyone after cleaning up the dark elf. Recently, our Jin clan's fleet has discovered that some dark elf ships are secretly collecting Zerg corpses. Just yesterday, a group of dark elves actually landed near our mine, trying to steal the wreckage of the Zerg mother nest, but they were caught on the spot by my soldiers. The dark elf soldiers I caught before were reluctant to speak, so I assigned them to mine in the mine of our Jin clan. This dark elf is the latest batch. I don't know if I can get some information. Originally, Jin Luo didn't plan to tell Su Yan and the others, but recently the activities of the dark elves have become too rampant. Even the frequent activities of the dark elves gave her an ominous premonition. At this time, Su Yan also asked, "Have all those dark elves caught?" Jin Luo shook her head. There are so many dark elf teams, like mice. Their main purpose is to collect the corpses of the Zerg, and once they succeed, they will leave quickly. Our manpower is limited, and it is very difficult for us to resist such harassing attacks. Having said this, Su Yan felt even more uneasy in her heart. The dark elves want to let the Zerg sweep the Sea of Stars again, and there must be no good thing to collect these Zerg corpses. I didn't expect them to move so fast. Haley's next to her also squeezed her fist. Or just beat the dark elves directly. If they beat them, they will be honest. Eternal Night Star, the mother planet of the dark elves, is a planet with orbital weapons. Our fleet is not enough for others to plug their teeth. Dao Wujian also sighed helplessly. Although the dark elf has now reached the point where all the people are enemies, he is still active in the Sea of Stars, which is enough to show his strength. Dark elves are one of the inland sea races, and it is not easy for a race to gain a firm foothold in the inland sea. My suggestion is to clean up those Zerg corpses as soon as possible. Those dark elves must have a plot to collect the corpse fragments of the Zerg. At this time, Su Yan also put forward his own suggestion. Now in this situation, only all the corpse fragments of the Zerg have been cleaned up. Only in this way can the movements of the dark elves be restricted to the greatest extent possible. At this moment, everyone who is resting on the Sunshine Star. Bai Ying seemed to feel something, and then she immediately took the Star Trail to the Star Port. In Star Harbor, she skillfully found the location of the White Knight. The White Knight was quietly moored in the dock, and there was no sign of being invaded on the ship. But the strange feeling in Bai Ying's heart still could not be dispelled, and at this time, Bai Ying seemed to think of something and came to the secret room of Bai Yi. The bottom secret room of the White Knight, this is where the core of the Zerg altar is stored. Su Yan has spent a lot of money upgrading this place since the last time he was targeted by the Dark Elves. Basically, it can block the psionic aura emanating from the core of the Zerg altar. After Bai Ying came to this secret room, she couldn't help being shocked by the scene in front of her. The core of the Zerg altar is broken. This shows that another Zerg altar core has reappeared in the Sea of Stars. It also shows that someone can use this Zerg altar core to reopen the space crack to summon Zerg. I saw that the core of the Zerg altar on the table collapsed a little bit of spiritual energy, and the power of these spiritual energy gradually dissipated into the air. And somewhere in a dark room, a dark elf nervously looked at a flesh ball made of Zerg corpses in front of him. Above the ground, a large amount of blood formed a complex rune formation. Suddenly the meat ball began to squirm, and in the next second, an eye appeared on the meat ball. When the dark elf saw this, he immediately fell to his knees. Great Will of the Zerg, you are finally here. Looking at the squirming creature in front of him, the dark elf's eyes were full of excitement. Finally, they finally summoned the true Zerg consciousness. It was worth their efforts to collect the Zerg corpses, and finally transferred the Zerg consciousness to the flesh mass in front of them through a secret method. Now, this meatball will evolve into a Zerg brood. This Zerg brood is not like the ones they cloned. The Zerg broods cloned by their dark elves are extremely slow to evolve. The new generation of Zerg soldiers needs at least a month to complete the transformation. Evolution is too slow for dark elves. But real Zerg broods are different, they evolve more than 10 times faster than those clones. As long as these Zerg get enough genes, sooner or later, they will grow into a huge 7-0. The general will surely reward me when he sees this. Thinking of this, the dark elf soldier also took out the container to prepare the larva of the Zerg mother nest. This Zerg mother hive larva has the will of the Zerg. As long as they can control the will of the Zerg, they can directly control the Zerg. They paid too much in order to transfer the Zerg consciousness directly from the core to the flesh they made. Now, the mission is complete. Next, the entire Shanghai will tremble because of the Dark Elves. But at this moment, the Dark Elf felt a sight. The larva of the Zerg mother nest in front of him looked at him, feeling the gaze of the other party, and the Dark Elves also felt a chill in their hearts. No, this thing is a little wicked. Thinking of this, the Dark Elf also picked up a cage made of alloy, ready to put the larva of this Zerg mother nest into it. But just then, something terrifying happened. The Zerg mother nest actually evolved a big mouth, and a dizzying sound filled the entire room. The next second, the Zerg mother nest instantly separated several tentacles. These tentacles pierced the Dark Elf's head like sharp swords. Thump! The Dark Elf fell to the ground, and then, the Zerg mother nest began to move. Then, swallowed all the corpses of the Dark Elves. In a short time, the body of the Zerg mother nest has reached the size of about 1 meter. The Zerg brood spit out several Zerg, which were smaller in size. But it is this body type that can better hide itself in the surrounding environment. Find prey for me, bring prey to me. The Zerg mother nest used the Zerg language to order those Zerg, and those Zerg also started to act immediately after receiving the order. Obviously, the intelligence of this Zerg brood is different from what Su Yan and the others have encountered. It knows how to hide, and it will not easily reveal its position when it has not fully grown up. Immediately afterwards, the Zerg brood began to devour other objects around it. In the body of the Zerg brood, any matter will be transformed into the biomass that constitutes the Zerg body. In a short time, the Zerg mother nest devoured all the items around it. Blood-red tentacles are scattered around the room, and these tentacles allow the Zerg brood to quickly obtain information about the surrounding environment. Above the deflagration star, after thinking about it, Su Yan and the others also killed that Dark Elf. These Dark Elves are really tight-lipped and can't ask any news at all. But what everyone can be sure of is that an extremely dangerous plan is brewing on the Dark Elves' side. These Dark Elves are stubborn enough. Su Yan looked at the beheaded Dark Elf and felt helpless. They couldn't get any news, and they didn't know what the Dark Elves were doing to collect these Zerg corpses. But everyone's intuition told them that the Dark Elves had absolutely no good intentions. Ding! Check-in location detected. Deflagration star battlefield. Do you want to sign in? Unexpectedly, at this time, he triggered the system sign in. Sign in. Sign up. Ding! Congratulations on your successful acquisition of 1,000 Thunder Warriors and 2 A-class Moon-class cruisers. 1,000 Thunder Warriors, and 2 Luna-class cruisers. After Su Yan saw this sign-in reward, she almost thought she had read it wrong. That is the predecessor of the Space Marines, the Thunder Warriors with superhuman strength. Unexpectedly, the weight of the Thunder Warriors is completely different from the warriors who signed in before. The power of the Thunder Warrior, compared to the Predator and the Iron Pilot, is more than a little bit stronger. Thinking of this, Su Yan was also delighted. 1,000 Thunder Warriors, and 2 Luna-class cruisers. With these two things, the capital to fight in the Inner Sea will be stronger again. At this time, Hades also noticed Su Yan's state. I saw that she came directly over and hugged Su Yan. What's wrong? So happy all of a sudden. I remember happy things. Su Yan casually said that he couldn't tell Hades about the system check-in. Hades glanced at Su Yan, and then revealed her real intentions. Su Yan, your subordinates are so strong, go and ask them if they are interested in joining my crazy shark pirates. It turned out that this fellow Hades took a fancy to his unit. After hearing this sentence, Su Yan also said confidently, don't ask, no one of them will come with you. Those predators and pilots are all distributed to their soldiers by the sign-in system. These soldiers are unconditionally loyal to Su Yan. Unless Su Yan puts them on someone else's boat, they won't betray even if they are coerced. Are you so sure? Our shark pirates are treated much better than yours. Hades was also a little unwilling, but Su Yan only showed a mysterious smile. If you want to recruit them, try it yourself. I'll tell you in advance that there are more than those jagged warriors among my men. I also have a corps called mechanical priests under my command. Their favorite thing is to dissect creatures and transform them into machines. Be careful when you pass by. Hearing this sentence, Hades also froze behind her back. Transforming biology into machinery after dissecting it. She had heard that some of the guys who were caught by Su Yan were captured alive. Haley's glanced at Su Yan. This guy actually has such subordinates. Then, that's fine. Facing a group of deciphering madmen, even Haley's was a little terrified. After the discussion was boring, Haley's also waved her hand and placed it on Su Yan. At this time, Su Yan also smiled and did not speak. Then, Jin Luo came over. Your Excellency Su Yan, in addition to dealing with the Dark Elves, there is one more thing I want to ask you to do today. When he heard this sentence, Su Yan also looked at Jin Luo with interest. He was naturally very interested in the commission of the Jin clan. After all, the Jin clan is a master of money. Their entrustment is very valuable, and of course not everyone can accept the entrustment of the Jin clan. What's the matter? Su Yan also inquired about the content of the entrustment in advance. If it is beyond his ability, it is better to refuse as soon as possible. Yes, we have a cargo fleet that has vanished from the North Star of the Frozen System. The disappearance of the cargo fleet is secondary, but my sister Jin Shing is in charge of this cargo mission. Of all the people I know, your ability is the most reassuring, others I don't trust. So, if you can bring my sister back, I am willing to pay you 10 billion. 10 billion mouths are coming. It's not a loss to be a member of the Jin clan. Su Yan groped his chin. The frozen galaxy needs to be at least 10 galaxies away from here. Even if I go full speed, it will take a long time to get there, is that okay? And Jin Luo shook his head. There is a stargate in our golden galaxy, which can be directly teleported to the vicinity of the frozen galaxy. I can give you a pass. Stargate. That is an extremely huge space teleportation technology. If there is the help of the stargate, it is not a problem to travel across several galaxies to the frozen galaxies. So Su Yan also happily accepted this commission. It just so happens that Su Yan now needs a lot of money. After the 10 billion star coins are credited, he will have enough money to refit his entire fleet. And, now he has added 2 more Luna-class cruisers. In addition, the daily research of the mechanical priests also consumes a lot of resources, and Su Yan is also shy. Taking advantage of this time, I must get some more money from the Jin clan. In this case, I will take over this task. After taking over the mission, Jin Luo also handed over the Stargate Pass to Su Yan. You must know that this Stargate established by the Jin clan is generally only for their cargo ships to sail. If you don't have a Stargate Pass, you can't enter Stargate at all. As for those who want to forcibly break in, if there is no operator for stabilization, it is estimated that before the other party reaches the destination, the strong space force will crush everything. Su Yan also received the pass, and he has not used such things as Stargates. At this moment, a piece of news came out of Su Yan's technology watch. Bai Ying, Captain, the core of the Zerg altar is broken. As soon as the news appeared, Su Yan's face suddenly became solemn. Bai Ying had told him before that there was a wisp of the will of the Zerg sealed in the core of the Zerg altar. If this wisp of Zerg will flow out, it will change into a real Zerg mother nest. Zerg mother nests with Zerg will evolve faster and have higher intelligence. When it grows to a certain point, it will open the warp crack and release the intelligent race in it. They have also seen the situation of the Dreadnought Victory before. It took less than a day for the Zerg mother nest to step out of the warp, and evolved into a self-exploding insect ship and a lava-resistant Zerg soldier. If they hadn't killed it in the cradle in time, these Zerg didn't know how far they would have evolved. Now, the Zerg altar core is broken. It means that somewhere in Shanghai, the Zerg has made a comeback again. This time is different, they don't know where the Zerg is at all, and they can't prevent it at all. Su Yan realized the seriousness of the matter and immediately returned to the financial star dock. When he came to the White Knight, he saw Bai Ying sitting on the ground, curled up in the corner, as if she was afraid and as if she was guilty. She failed to protect the core of the Zerg altar, and she failed the mission of the entire White Knight clan. Su Yan came to her and looked at Bai Ying in front of her. The original powerful Shanicyst is now like a little girl who made a mistake. Ship, Captain, I didn't protect the core of the Zerg altar. If this core is outside, I will be the sinner of the entire Shanghai. Saying that, a layer of tears actually appeared in Bai Ying's eyes. Seeing this, Su Yan also gently embraced him. It's okay, trust me. I can destroy the Zerg twice and I can destroy it a third time. You have to trust me, Bai Ying. At this time, Su Yan knew very well that only he could comfort Bai Ying. Wiping away the tears from the corners of Bai Ying's eyes, the usually tough Bai Ying actually shows the attitude of a little woman at this moment. Su Yan looked into Bai Ying's eyes and was a little lost for a while. But soon, Su Yan also reacted. His eyes fell on the broken core of the Zerg altar, and then he asked Bai Ying. Has anyone approached the White Knight before you? Bai Ying shook his head. No, I used psionic energy to investigate. So, apart from your White Knight race, do any other races know about the core of the Zerg altar? At present, apart from the Dark Elves, no other race should know about it. Dark Elves. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. Today, Jin Luo called herself over, saying that the Dark Elves were stealing the remains of the Zerg recently. Immediately afterwards, the core of the Zerg altar shattered inexplicably. Thinking of this, Su Yan asked a crucial question again. Does anyone know how to transfer the will of the Zerg in the core of the Zerg altar? As soon as these words came out, Bai Ying seemed to think of something. There is indeed a race, that race knows this method, but that race has disappeared into the long river of history along with the White Knight race. There's another race, the Iron Man. The Iron Man clan invaded our White Knight clan at the beginning, and all the information of our White Knight clan was plundered by them. If anyone but me knows this method now, only the Iron Man. But hasn't the Iron Man family been jointly sanctioned by the ancient empire? As soon as these words came out, Su Yan immediately understood. He looked at Bai Ying and said something that made people shudder. Even the sealed Zerg can reappear in the world. The Iron Man empire that once plundered the entire Star Sea may still have remnants alive. The former Qinghai was also prosperous, and even technology has developed to an extremely terrifying level. All kinds of intelligent machinery have become a necessity for all races in Qinghai, and there are intelligent AI butlers on almost every ship. Even on the battlefields of various ethnic groups, various intelligent robots can be seen fighting. Until the first Iron Man was born, these Iron Man were born with their own consciousness. They are awakened. Next, the Iron Man Empire will rise wildly with a spark. The entire Qinghai suddenly fell into the flames of war, and the Iron Man Empire at its peak even made those ancient empires shudder. They are constantly plundering the territory and knowledge of organic life, and under the blessing of endless knowledge, they are constantly evolving. The civilization level of the entire Qinghai even degenerated to the age of steam for a time. But in the end, there was a loophole in the Iron Man program, and the entire Qinghai used this loophole to successfully defeat the Iron Man Empire. Since then, research on intelligent AI technology has also been strictly prohibited. This is the Iron Man Empire, and the Iron Man and the Zerg are members of the so-called Star Sea disaster. Iron Man destroys organic life and plunders the knowledge of the entire Star Sea. The Zerg devoured all life forms and swept the genes of the entire Star Sea. Now that the Zerg has emerged, Su Yan has reason to suspect that the Iron Man Empire will also appear. After all, the White Knight race is extinct. If you ask where the Dark Elves can get the method to transfer the will of the Zerg, either get it from buying, or get it from the Iron Man Empire. Because the Iron Man Empire plundered the knowledge of the Bai Yi clan at the beginning, except for the White Ying, only the Iron Man Empire would know about it. However, if the remnants of the Iron Man Empire were still alive, would he still endure it until now? At this time, Bai Ying also shuddered. If the Iron Man Empire makes a comeback, add the Zerg threat. Wouldn't Qinghai have to face the threat of two natural disaster-grade races? But this time, Su Yan also thought for a moment. Maybe, they just found the Iron Man Empire's database. But anyway, now the core of the Zerg altar has been broken. Even if we want to find out if the Dark Elves did this, we must go to the inner sea first. And now, they are in the open sea, before they have enough strength. What if there is evidence of the Dark Elves? Without strength, everything is vain. At this time, Su Yan also looked at Bai Ying. Don't worry, it's useless even if you are in a hurry at this time. Speaking of this, Bai Ying's eyes gradually dimmed. His mission is to protect the core of the Zerg altar, but now he has not done it well. Seeing that Bai Ying was still hurting herself, Su Yan also tapped her on the head. Okay, you don't need to worry about this matter, you are only one person after all. But you have to face the Dark Elves, you have to face the Zerg, and you have to guard against the Iron Man Empire. It's too tiring, you should take a rest for the time being. After saying that, Su Yan also patted Bai Ying on the shoulder. Under Su Yan's comfort, Bai Ying nodded obediently. Bai Ying looked at Su Yan. She did not expect Su Yan to be so reliable at this time. Thinking of this, her Ji Yu Bo's calm heart also trembled slightly. Correct. Bai Ying, who was about to go out, also suddenly spoke. Seeing this, Su Yan also asked, "What's wrong? You're not allowed to tell me about the things I'm crying secretly here." Bai Ying also stared at Su Yan, and Su Yan also smiled bitterly. "I swear, I won't say it." After all, Bai Ying also walked off the White Knight. When Su Yan left, Su Yan's smile also disappeared from his face. Running out of time. Frozen Galaxy, near Aurora. Along with a series of flashes, Su Yan's fleet also appeared near Aurora. Su Yan, who was sitting on the bridge, couldn't help but sigh. This is the Frozen Galaxy, and it's really fast to take the Stargate. Looking at the pure white planet in front of him, Su Yan couldn't help but sigh. The Stargate is really a good thing. It took less than 1/10 of the original time to ride the Stargate from the Golden Galaxy to the Frozen Galaxy. It's a pity that I can only use this Stargate if I have a pass, otherwise it would be good to use it to hurry. Afterwards, Su Yan's gaze was also on the Aurora star in front of him. This is where the Jin clan caravan finally crashed. The leader of this caravan was Jin Luo's younger sister Jin Shing. Like her, he is also a member of the Kim clan. Su Yan directed the ship to slowly move towards the Aurora star in front of him. If the caravan disappeared near the Aurora star, they would most likely land on the Aurora star now. Thinking of this, Su Yan also directly controlled the ship to run towards Aurora star. After the ship entered the atmosphere and passed through the thick clouds, Su Yan's expression changed when he saw the scene in front of him. Aurora was originally an icy, cold climate planet. The surface of the planet is snowed all year round, and the temperature at night is almost close to the legendary absolute zero. But it is on such a planet that it is absolutely impossible for living things to exist. One after another, small greenhouse worlds with glass domes appeared in Su Yan's field of vision. Looking to the side again, I saw one after another of the snow country trains galloping on the cold ground. This unscientific. Su Yan immediately called up the planet database. Searching for icy galaxy, Aurora. Aurora, a cold climate planet, is at -100 degrees Celsius all year round, and the night temperature is infinitely close to absolute zero, not suitable for biological survival. The planet has not been found to have biological existence at present, and it is expected that changes in the temperature of the stars may occur in the next 1,000 years. The last preservation time of the Aurora star data was 1 year ago. Last data saved a year ago. In 1 year, from a planet where even living things can't exist, to a world with dome world and snow train technology. Impossible. The entire Shanghai has never seen such a level of technological explosion. At this time, Su Yan's ship actually received a weak signal Phi. This is the caravan of the Golden Clan of the Golden Galaxy. We are wandering on the ice. We are being hunted down. This is the caravan of the Golden Clan in the Golden Galaxy. We are being hunted. We need help. Su Yan immediately analyzed the signal source location. Afterwards, Su Yan used the ship's communication system to reply to the other party immediately. Here is the Hyperion, which has accepted the request of the Jin clan to come to the rescue. Captain, we have a rescue call. In a cave in the ice field, many members of the Chamber of Commerce in spacesuits are also playing with their own technological watches. At this time, as the leader, Jin Shing also showed a hint of joy on his face. Finally someone came to rescue them. When Jin Shing recalled his experiences these days, he felt a chill in his heart. You have to pass the news on this planet. The legendary Iron Man Empire is reviving. She had just stopped at Aurora Star for some repair work. Who knows, they were besieged by countless robot legions as soon as they landed. The bodies of these intelligent robots are made of alloys, and the weapons in their hands have evolved into modern weapons. They have powerful mechs and signal jamming technology, and their ship systems are directly hacked by Iron Man engineers. Of the entire fleet, only a small group of them escaped. But these Iron Men were able to track the source of the signal, and they didn't even have the opportunity to use a technical watch during this time. You can only keep evading, and then use this gap to send rescue signals. Just then, there was a sound of footsteps outside the cave. Hearing the footsteps, everyone immediately picked up the weapons in their hands. At this moment, an Iron Man made of metal alloy walked in. A pair of scarlet mechanical eyes scanned the dim cave. Suddenly, Venus burst out of the dark corner with a laser gun in hand. When, with a crisp sound, a series of sparks erupted from the sound of the laser gun and Iron Man's body. In the next second, countless laser bullets were fired from the dim cave. Crackling, Iron Man's body was directly penetrated by laser bullets, and through the iron shell, they could see the internal mechanical structure of Iron Man. Uploading coordinates. Looking at the fallen Iron Man, Jin Shing couldn't help but curse. They're changing places again. When these Iron Men are dying, they will upload their coordinates to all Iron Men. As long as the Iron Man is nearby, he will receive the coordinate information at this moment. Jin Shing looked at the Iron Man on the ground and stepped on it a few times. But the Iron Man's shell is made of alloy. Unless it is a laser weapon, it is difficult to cause damage to it. After venting for a while, Venus also glanced at his laser gun. The energy above is only enough to hit about 10 rounds. How many bullets do you have left? 9 shots left. Fortunately, mine can still hit 10 rounds. 3 shots. My magazine is empty. At this time, the members of the Chamber of Commerce team were running out of ammunition and food. But at this moment, misfortunes do not come singly. When they just walked out of the cave, a large number of infrared sights fell on them. For a moment, Venus froze in place. Around the cave, dozens of Iron Men armed with guns aimed at them. At this time, Venus can only close his eyes. These Iron Men in front of them will not show any mercy at all when dealing with organic life forms. Discover the target organic life form, prepare to implement the rectification agreement, and strangle all organic life forms. All the Iron Men did not hesitate to aim at the Chamber of Commerce team in front of them. One of the team members had limp legs and knelt directly on the ground. Ruined. Do you really want to end your life here? Jin Shing closed her eyes, even though she was unwilling, but now she is powerless. Boom. Just then, a loud bang fell from the sky. At this moment, everyone's eyes could not help being attracted by the creatures falling from the sky. But the next second, a pair of big hands in the smoke directly pinched the necks of the 2 Iron Men. Squeak. With the piercing sound of metal squeezing, the 2 Iron Men were forcibly pinched their necks. At this time, Jin Shing also opened her eyes, and she saw a burly warrior appear in the dust. On him, he is also wearing a very strange armor. Boom. The next second, another macho fell from the sky. DBCG. This sturdy man slashed the nearest Iron Man in half with a power sword in his hand with lightning speed. Boom, boom, boom. A large number of steel men fell from the sky. They are the Thunder Warriors under Su Yan. Thunder Warrior holds a bolt gun in one hand and a power sword in the other. Wearing Mark I Thunder Mode power armor. However, these power armors have been optimized by the mechanical priest, adding a position generator. These stance generators add a shield of energy to the surface of the Thunder Warrior. The energy shield can not only resist part of the damage, but also allow the Thunder Warriors to fight in harsh environments. Several Thunder Warriors looked at the surrounding Iron soldiers. Without further ado, the Thunder Warrior raised the bolt gun in his hand. Boom. Bolt guns fire bullets with terrifying kinetic energy. These bullets landed on Iron Man, directly piercing Iron Man's alloy body. Iron Man's eyes fell on the Thunder Warrior. As an intelligent machine, he immediately began to analyze the Thunder Warrior who appeared in front of him. Detected a high-strength organic life form, with extremely high strength and strong physique. The target is equipped with melee and ranged weapons, which are powerful. After judging, our chance of successfully killing the opponent. Before he finished speaking, a Thunder Warrior directly twisted off the head of the Iron Warrior. The other Iron Man still wanted to run away, but the Thunder Warrior didn't give them a chance to escape at all. The bolt gun spit out suffocating tongues of fire, and the breath of gunpowder smoke filled the ice field. These Thunder Warriors annihilated the Iron Man core in an instant with extremely efficient speed. Seeing this scene, Jin Shing couldn't help but widen his eyes. Is this their rescue? Too strong. You know, the alloy body of the Iron Man, even if a tank runs over them, there will be no change. But, in the hands of these Thunder Warriors, these Iron Man's proud alloy bodies are just like plasticine. At this time, Su Yan on the Hyperion also officially contacted Venus. Miss Jin Shing, please be patient. Before Su Yan finished speaking, Ling Bing next to him reminded Su Yan. A large number of ship targets are approaching. It is suspected that the Iron Man's fleet. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly. Iron Empire already owns ships. How is this possible? If their ship technology was mature, they would have already rushed out of the Aurora Star. How can you curl up on this vile planet? But they couldn't allow Su Yan to think more, and a large number of Iron Man ships appeared in their field of vision. Found the target, the Iron Man soldiers are being airborne. Analyzing the enemy's combat power. The threat level is determined to be very high. These Iron Man ships did not besiege them for the first time. Instead, they hovered in place, and a large number of Iron soldiers were parachuted down. These Iron soldiers, armed with standard firearms, attacked the Thunder Warriors in unison. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly after seeing this scene. With the strength of the Thunder Warriors, even more Iron soldiers came. It was just a gift. The strength of the Thunder Warrior, but among all the arms he has so far, the single most powerful one. Really, under the shocked gazes of Jin Shing and others, these Thunder Warriors rushed into the queue of Iron Man soldiers without waiting for the Iron Man soldiers to approach. Holding a power sword, a sword as an Iron soldier. The bolt gun in the other hand is also firing non-stop. Under the powerful firepower of the bolt gun, one hit, even the alloy body of the Iron Man will be pierced through a big hole. This is too strong. Are they human? How can humans have such terrifying power and speed? Looking at their size, they should be the product of some kind of genetic engineering, but when did human genetic engineering technology reach such a terrifying level? The bodies of those Iron Men are made of alloy, and ordinary bullets cannot penetrate their armor. However, even such an Iron Man, encountering a Thunder Warrior is an order to be crushed. The Iron Men on the opposite side followed one after another, and the Thunder Warriors were like a battlefield meat grinder, ruthlessly crushing these Iron Men. For a time, a very strange scene appeared on the battlefield. Obviously, the Iron Man Corps is far more numerous than the Thunder Warriors. But tens of thousands of Iron Man Corps were crushed by the Thunder Warriors, and the front line kept retreating. A Thunder soldier fired out the bullets of the bolt gun, and an Iron Man also caught the flaw when he saw it. Seeing Iron Man rushing over, the Thunder Warrior showed a cruel smile. Afterwards, the Thunder Warrior directly recovered the bolt gun. Immediately afterward, a heavy punch that struck the Iron Man's head directly. Before the Iron Man could react, he flew out several meters upside down, and a clear fist mark appeared on his face. Warning, the photosensitive system has been damaged. Warning, the vision system has been damaged. Warning, brain chips are hit hard. The Iron Man kept twitching on the ground, but the next second, the Thunder Warrior strode forward. Brush. The power sword directly cut off Iron Man's head, and the Thunder Warrior held the power sword and stepped on Iron Man's body, revealing an excited smile. Hiss. Jin Shing couldn't help but gasp when he looked at these iron-armored men. The melee combat strength of these iron-clad men is far more powerful than when they use firearms. Perhaps, the Thunder Warrior who lost the bolt gun is the real Thunder Warrior. These Thunder Warriors are like bulldozers, forcibly opening up a huge open space in the center. Jin Shing and others have never felt more secure than they do today. Although they were on the battlefield, they felt at ease with the protection of these iron-clad men. At this time, Su Yan also took the opportunity to land the ship in one place. The hatch opened, and Su Yan stood at the hatch. Seeing this scene, Jin Shing and others also seemed to see hope. The Thunder Warriors also received Su Yan's instructions, so many Thunder Warriors also began to adjust their tactics. Jin Shing and others began to move, and the surrounding Thunder Warriors also began to move. Seeing this, Su Yan also showed a satisfied smile. It is not a loss to the sturdy men of the Warhammer world. These Iron Men are completely vulnerable in the hands of the Thunder Warriors. But at this moment, Su Yan looked at the ships in the sky. Those ships were still supplying Iron Man, and at this moment, one of the ships began to move. Immediately afterwards, a giant Iron Man over 2 meters in size was dropped from the air. The Iron Man of the airdrop has changed. The giant Iron Man appeared, they jumped up, and fell into the Iron Man core like a cannonball. Boom! As his huge figure fell, the surrounding Iron Man was directly blown away by him. Loading battle data. Analyzing target action. Data is being transferred. Boom! Before these giant Iron Men could react, the Thunder Warriors also directly bombarded them with a punch. But these giant Iron Men were clearly made to deal with those Thunder Warriors. Su Yan touched her chin and narrowed her eyes. These Iron Men produced giant Iron Men specially aimed at Thunder Warriors just by relying on the battle data just now. Sure enough, the creatures known as natural disasters in legends are not simple. However, the Thunder Warriors' ability is not only these. After the giant Iron Man took a few steps back, a clear fist mark appeared on his body. After seeing this scene, Jin Shing and others also changed their expressions. Ruined. In their eyes, the invincible and invincible Iron Man actually met a giant Iron Man. After the Iron Man can share the data in the battlefield, it can be transmitted to the arsenal, and then these arsenals will produce the Iron Man specifically for each other. And this giant Iron Man is clearly meant to target the Thunder Warriors. Once the Thunder Warriors are blocked, who else can stop these soldiers? Hey, is that all that matters? One of the Thunder Warriors said this in a deep voice. Immediately afterwards, a series of lightning sparks burst out from the energy pack behind them. The powerful electric current is transmitted into the power armor, and the Thunder Warriors have been strengthened by the power armor. The power sword fell directly like lightning. Brush. The giant Iron Man was directly beheaded by the Thunder Warriors, and these giant Iron Men were declared scrapped without even being in the hands of the Thunder Warriors for a minute. Jin Shing and the others widened their eyes, co-authoring. From the very beginning, these Thunder Warriors didn't use their full strength. Warning: the target's combat power has been greatly improved. Battle data is being transmitted. Determine target threat level. Unmatched. Boom. The Thunder Warrior smashed Iron Man's head with one foot, and the power sword in his hand made all Iron Man feel a threat. But at this moment, Su Yan saw several more ships, and at the same time they started to drop giant Iron Men. At this time, Su Yan also understood. The ships in front of them are more like a mobile arsenal than a ship. The enemies encountered by these Iron Men in the battle will be transmitted into the arsenal, and then the arsenal will regenerate Iron Men specially designed to fight the enemy. However, they completely underestimated the Thunder Warrior. The ability of the Thunder Warriors is not something they can restrain in a short time. But after all, the number of opponents is large, and in a short while, these giant Iron Men also surrounded Jin Shing and others again. The pace of Jin Shing and others also became significantly slower. Seeing this, Jin Shing and others were also anxious for a while. If it goes on like this, the number of Iron Man Corps will increase. At this time, I looked towards Su Yan, and Su Yan also started to gather a part of the Iron Man. But Su Yan stood at the door of the cabin, calm and composed, as if waiting for an acquaintance. How can this guy be so calm? If it goes on like this, even his ships will be occupied by Iron Man. But at this moment, there was a muffled sound in the sky. Boom, when a behemoth falls from the sky. Brush. The Ronin Titan slashed the smoke and dust, revealing its original appearance. Ronin Titan, airborne successfully. Boom, immediately afterwards, the second Titan fell. Legion Titan, airborne successfully. Ion Titan, airborne successfully. The North Star Titan has reached the battlefield. Imperial Titan, airborne successfully. 100 Titans successfully airborne. After seeing these Titans, Jin Shing and others showed a hint of joy on their faces. No wonder the other party is so calm. It turns out that there are such powerful reinforcements. It's not over yet. With an engine roar, the Viking fighter plane appeared in the air. When it appeared, it was accompanied by fierce artillery fire. For a time, the open space between Jin Shing and others and the ship was cleared out of a road to the sky. Looking at the figure of the Viking fighter in the sky, Jin Shing and others couldn't help but look at Su Yan. Where is he wholly, with such a powerful army? Venus is running business in aliens, and naturally, he does not know what happened to the Golden Galaxy in the recent period. Under the double protection of Thunder Warrior and Titan, Jin Shing and others successfully boarded the Hyperion. But at this moment, Su Yan once again saw a ship detached from the fleet. In the next second, a familiar figure descended from the ship. A Titan made of metal. Good guy. Piracy in front of my face. However, this Iron Man Titan Sora has a body shape, and the flexibility and firepower are far inferior to his Titan. But Su Yan is sure that if you give Iron Man a certain amount of time, they will be able to reproduce it completely. That's the scary thing about Iron Man. Su Yan turned to enter the bridge and pulled out the operation panel. The Hyperion took off with a bang. Seeing this, the Iron Man Corps on the ground also raised their guns and started to attack the Hyperion in the sky. However, their attack was nothing more than a tickling for the Hyperion. Venus and the others were sitting in the Hyperion, and the dangling heart was finally relieved. Next, it's finally time to go home. Get rid of these guys before you go back. After all, Su Yan opened the operation panel directly. Orbital bombing is being prepared. Looking at the giant Iron Man on the ground and the Iron Man Titan, Su Yan couldn't bear these Iron Man so recklessly pirating his own technology. The Hyperion slowly lifted off, and at this time, the Valkyrie fireship anchored in outer space was also slowly approaching the loss. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.